Good morning, Internet. We are 20 days away from the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania, what is it, 39? Going to Hollywood. Hunter is painting that picture for us. Things are starting to heat up between Sami Zayn, the Usos, and the rest of the Bloodline. And it seems like the Bloodline also has their sights set on Cody Rhodes. We're going to talk about all of that, so sit back, relax, enjoy, get yourself a beverage, and welcome to the show. Let's get to it.
Good week of wrestling.
It was okay.
Optimistic here.
It was all right.
I am being optimistic here. We got, things starting to fill out. It's always good.
They are. I feel like they're I think they're being forced. I don't think anything's really being organic.
Well, we're out of time for organic.
That's true. It's just, I remember Hunter in an interview saying that he enjoys the slow burn and taking his time with angles and stuff, and I don't see any of that since he's taken over. Everything just seems kind of put together. But I'm not behind the scenes, so there's probably a lot going on that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, apparently there's plans. So we'll see where we go after WrestleMania.
Well, let's kick it off with Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
Stupid Patrick of Kevin would say.
I miss when it was Raw as War.
I just miss when there was energy.
That too. Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick are just awful. The commentary in general is just atrocious. But they're especially bad.
Yeah, they need a voice.
Yeah.
But the problem is, there's not that many, voices out in the industry to get.
Rogan would be the only one I can think of. And I don't think...
Joe Rogan?
Yeah, doesn't he still do UFC
wouldn't
commentary? No, of course he wouldn't. But doesn't he still do UFC commentary?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
Why is that?
Because, his show does, his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Makes so much money on that thing, he doesn't need to do UFC anymore.
But he loves it.
He got that Spotify money.
Yeah, he's okay. He's still, I think he does the podcast for fun, and I think he does the UFC stuff for fun. So, if you can do shit for fun and make a lot of money doing it.
I guess there is that little part. He enjoys what he's doing, so it's not really work for him.
Right. And God bless him for it. I remember when he came on the Man Show, and he was pretty good. And then he got replaced. Or no. He replaced Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel.
By himself?
With Doug Stanhope.
Oh, I don't even know who that is.
He's another comedian. Yeah, they weren't as good as Jimmy and Adam. So they were handicapped. And I remember he was in news radio for a little bit. But then, of course, he did Fear Factor.
That's what I know him from.
Right. I think that's probably news radio and Fear Factor are probably his most notable pre-UFC gigs. But yeah, I'm surprised he's been around for as long as he has, because I don't think the Man Show with Doug and Joe lasted very long.
Well, that's the thing. You keep going forward, working on your dream. You'll get there. You don't know where you'll end up. Then you'll get $100 million contract from Spotify.
Yeah, and you'll ruin Carlos Mencia's career.
Yeah, but the $100 million thing—that's probably bigger. I think you're focusing on the wrong thing here.
Oh no, I would think that the Carlos Mencia thing would be more satisfying.
To each their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, we start the Raw show off with
Sokoa Joe,
uh
Jimmy, and Paul Heyman, they enter the arena in a limo. And Heyman basically says Jimmy fucked up last week, but since Zayn is here tonight, it's going to be his opportunity to take care of the Sami Zayn problem. And he said Sokoa Joe will take care of Kevin Owens. Jimmy's going to take out Sami. Ready, break.
yeah. So I gave them each. He kind of laid out each of their marching orders for the night, as they will each have singles matches. Golly.
So yeah, and then we kick off with Kevin Owens versus Sokoa Joe, which surprised me when I was thinking that, well, they better have one hell of a main event, right?
Well,
And
they did.
they did. But I thought,
And
I thought this, if they, it would have been criminal if they would have had anything other than, like, if they didn't have Sami Zayn and Jimmy, and they just had this as the opening match, that would have been just awful.
yeah.
Like if they ended it with, I don't even know who else wrestled. Was there any
On
more
the night?
wrestling? Yeah. Oh, Finn
Carmella
Balor
had a
and
match. Carmella and Bianca.
oh yeah. Like if that was the main event.
They would just be writing the book on how to actively kill your main event segment.
Exactly.
Although I will say Carmella's not bad. Like, I don't know. She's able to get a reaction from the crowd.
Okay.
So, I don't know what it is, but people do love her. Like, as in, as we'll hear later with Theory, they care about her.
Okay. Speaking of that, they did tease that John Cena is going to be there later this evening. Also, said that the new women's tag team champions are going to make an appearance, and then Logan Paul and Seth Rollins are going to have a confrontation. And I also noticed that they didn't advertise any single second of wrestling on their wrestling show. So
There you go.
just an observation. So yeah, like we said, Zayn and Jimmy was scheduled later as the main event, which kind of put my mind at ease. And then we get right into it. Kevin Owens doesn't wait for the bell to ring. He's on Sokoa Joe like white on rice. And it was nice. It was just two big guys just beating the hell out of each other. There was one moment where Joe completely missed. He did like this running forearm uppercut thingy, and he completely missed Kevin Owens. But Kevin still sold it. Like he connected. It was weird.
Like the professional he is.
I guess. I don't think that's very professional.
I didn't notice it.
I did.
So there you go. I guess if you were watching with the eagle eye, you saw it, but if you were half watching it as I was, then you didn't notice it at all.
No, you don't need an eagle eye. You just pay attention.
Okay.
So Jimmy comes out, and then it becomes crowded. I wish they would have just let them have a match. Which that'll come into play later too. So Jimmy eventually jumps in. They beat up Kevin Owens. Sammy comes out. He takes on both Sokoa Joe and Jimmy. He runs them off. Then he goes to shake Kevin Owens' hand post-match. Kevin Owens just crawls out of the ring. He ain't having any of that. And, of course, Sammy's a little bewildered with that. And
As
yeah.
he shouldn't be.
What do you mean?
Like, he should know that Kevin Owens is still mad at him.
Right.
They are really dragging that out. Like, we have 4 shows left to
Right.
WrestleMania, and Kevin Owens is still not on board.
Well, first of all, the match was really good. I think it would have been better if Sokoa Joe wasn't so irrelevant and boring right now. Like I was really geared up for this match, like around War Games, but then you kind of figure out what Sokoa Joe is, and at right now, and it's not as exciting, at least to me. But it's still a really good match. I noticed that everybody just kind of seemed to be on, like, jet lagged or just kind of in a second gear. Or is it just me?
I wasn't paying that close attention, I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, it just kind of seemed like everybody was, I don't know, they were kind of going through the motions. They weren't, like, I don't want to say they were half-assing it, but they weren't, like, giving it 100% either.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wish they would just let Jimmy interfere after the match. Just let Kevin Owens and Sokoa Joe have a match, win or lose. Then they could beat up Kevin Owens after.
Well, there's levels to that. Number one, Solo is undefeated. Well, no. Solo is yet to be pinned.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens is about to have a WrestleMania match, so neither one of them can lose. It's what you call booking yourself into a corner.
Who's Sokoa Joe wrestling at WrestleMania?
He's not, but he's undefeated.
Then who gives a fuck if he's... Who gives a shit? They're not... It's not going anywhere.
Actually, there was reports circling around this week that the plan is to do a Solo versus Roman match. I don't know when, but that is the plan after WrestleMania, is to build towards a... sorry, not after WrestleMania, but at some point in the year to build towards a Solo versus Roman match.
Okay.
So, that's why they want to protect his streak, I guess. Is so when he gets to the Roman thing, it's like, this guy's not been pinned yet.
Okay.
Now, is all that just to put another notch on Roman's belt? Or, or is that to build him up as, like, the new head of the bloodline? Which would be... I'll go ahead and tell you, it's a mistake if that's the case. Because we already discussed it. He's not... Unless he has a good mouthpiece, the ceiling is very small for him.
Have you heard him talk?
No.
Then how
and
do you
that's
know?
why.
Oh, come on.
There's a reason. There's a reason he hasn't cut a promo yet. It's because he can't.
Well, do you think Sami Zayn cuts a good promo?
Yeah.
What if I told you that he played a Mexican luchador that didn't speak English in Ring of Honor?
That's impressive.
Well, he did. And
that's even... What are you talking about? That's impressive.
that's not impressive. He didn't want to...
You play a character that doesn't speak English.
He didn't want to talk. He didn't talk at all. But it turns out he's actually pretty good at it. Well, some people seem to think he is.
So you're saying Solo, it's just a hidden talent for him that
He might
hasn't been
be.
able to be explored.
I mean, they haven't really done anything with him. He's just there.
He's their heavy.
Come on, he's just there.
He's not there.
The
You're not gonna put.
Usos are
You're not
doing
there to put.
something. The Usos have their little thing going on. Roman's got his things going on. Sikoa Joe is just there. Heyman.
Yeah, he's the
Heyman
heavy.
is more involved than Sikoa Joe. Let that sink in.
Okay. I don't think he's there to be in feuds yet.
He doesn't
Like-
have. But I'm not saying, but he's. I mean, he's inconsequential. Like if he was not there, I don't think anybody would miss him.
I think he completes the bloodline. I think he makes Roman more dangerous. Because, like, he's at Roman's hip pretty much.
How does he make him more dangerous if the former mascot can take him and his brother all by himself?
He had a chair. Wasn't like a even Steven. As a matter of fact, Solo beat him when they went head to head.
Well, I seem to remember that Sikoa Joe got hit by Hardy with a chair, and he just shrugged it off like it was nothing.
Hardy?
That dude that had the weird... I couldn't tell if he was fat or not.
Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
The one who put on like the worst music video ever, or worst performance ever.
Yeah. And by the way, his music sucks. You told me his music was okay. It's awful.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
I said he has a song that is okay.
I'm pretty sure you said that. Hey,
I don't know who it is.
He's not that bad.
I said I
He's my
heard
new
one
favorite.
song.
I'm gonna tour with him.
Okay.
Said
I heard one song and
I'm gonna
it
get
was
his
okay.
dick imprint. I'm gonna make a dick mold.
But he's not Kid Rock, is what I said.
He's awful.
But everybody can have one hit. How hard is that? I could make a hit tomorrow.
Do it.
Not that I'm going to, but I could.
But anyway, just Sikoa Joe's not important right now, and you could put anybody in his place, and it would just be the same.
Okay. I don't even know. I lost. I'm gonna be honest with you. I lost the point of that conversation.
Well, we were talking about how it doesn't make sense for Sikoa Joe to be undefeated. You said the point is for him to
Oh yeah.
get to Roman, but then I'm just saying that he's not important. At least not right now. If they build a Roman, great. I'm all for that. But right this second, if you could replace him with anybody on the roster right now, and it would be the same outcome. It wouldn't look the same, but it would be the same outcome. He's not that. That's the level that's the depth that Sikoa Joe is in the story right now.
Gotcha. Well, they are building towards a Roman thing, so.
No, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I get that, and God bless him, and I'll hold off judgment. Totally on Sikoa Joe until that happens. But I gotta call it like I see it right now.
There you go. Our next segment comes in the way of Bianca Belair and Carmella. Um, actually, before that, there was a couple things in between. So before the match, Bobby Lashley he asked Bray Wyatt, what's it gonna take for you to face me like a man and stop playing these kid games?" There was no Bray Wyatt on Monday Night Raw, and I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. There's no Bray Wyatt on SmackDown either. So no week of Bray Wyatt, and
That's 2 straight weeks.
yet yet we have this build that's supposed to be building up to
Are
WrestleMania,
we?
and so far the build has been Bobby Lashley. Maybe wait a minute, they haven't technically said it was going to be a WrestleMania yet, so maybe it's not going to be a WrestleMania.
Where else would it be?
They still got they got stuff coming after WrestleMania. There's Backlash, um, which it wouldn't make. So also to note, they're not going to be doing the WrestleMania Backlash, and I put that in quotes because previous years they've had the name of WrestleMania Backlash. Well, apparently this year they're dropping it and it's just Backlash. So they're not doing like, I don't know. They're
Uh,
taking the branding of it being WrestleMania Backlash off. So
so
there's Backlash.
is that a wait? Is that a separate pay-per-view?
Yeah, it's a pay-per-view like I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks right after WrestleMania.
Oh, so they're bringing back the Backlash pay-per-view.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually, yeah, usually the pay-per-view has just been like WrestleMania rematches with
Yeah.
maybe different stipulations as it's WrestleMania Backlash. But now this year it looks like they are dropping the WrestleMania part of it and just doing Backlash. So that might also come with like matches that are not just rematches from WrestleMania. Hopefully. That's
Wh-
hopefully.
Which is good because that's all we're gonna get the SmackDown and Raw after WrestleMania.
Yes.
So
Yes, we're gonna see enough of rematches. Backlash had always been my least favorite of all the pay-per-views for that very reason. It's like, oh great, it's you're literally telling me this is just WrestleMania rematch card. And if I saw WrestleMania, I don't need to see this
right.
card. So maybe it's going to be different. I guess also we could point it out here that they are also going to be bringing, and we kind of touched on this, but it is officially announced that they're going to do Queen and King of the Ring, and it's going to take place over in Saudi.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, like
So we
I
got the
knew they were doing the
Backlash and then the
pay-per-views. I didn't
Queen
know
and
that.
King.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've officially announced all that.
They love Saudi
Um,
Arabia.
well, they have to contractually they have to do 2 shows there a year.
Oh. Okay.
So
So
yeah,
that's the
they
crown
usually
jewel and something else.
yeah.
How long is that going on?
Um, I don't know how long that deal is,
Okay.
but yeah, when they signed the deal, they had to do two. It's actually kind of a funny story. So they were supposed to put on 2 pay-per-views a year. That was the contract, and then they started out just putting out like a whatever show, and then the Saudi commission or whatever it is, they're like, this pay-per-view shit. You better treat this like a WrestleMania. So then they had to like put on, the matches that don't technically make sense, but to please the Saudi people. So that's why like every year Brock Lesnar does the Saudi shows and Goldberg, just to get the big names out there,
Of course.
just to appease them.
Okay.
So yeah. Um, so yeah, we got King of the Ring officially announced, Backlash officially announced, and to bring that back, maybe Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt happens at Backlash, and they're just starting it now. Now, yes, that would suck for them to, both miss out on the WrestleMania card, but
You and I both know that's not happening.
well, they only got
They
now
they have
they got
two
four shows.
they have 2 nights to fill. Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley will be on one of those 2 nights.
Well, they got 4 weeks to make it make sense.
Plus, they got that cinnamon toast crunch match. Of course, Bray Wyatt's going to be there.
Like, hey, where do you think you're going? Someone's gonna be in this match. Which we've heard nothing else from that either.
No, we're just.
But
But if there's going to be a cinnamon toast crunch match, best believe the Eater Worlds is going to be in it.
poor Lashley. If
Yeah.
that happens. Like, you mean to tell me, like, I'm supposed to be this big, muscly, serious character and I have to be in a cereal match?
That's why that's why Brock Lesnar is like, nope, I'm going to kick Bobby in the balls and peace out. Give me almost.
Yeah. I'd rather have that train wreck than
Let that sink in.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I just,
Yeah, no, he's it's weird. But there is that one thing, and that is the fact that one he's losing, one he's winning. So there's that too.
well, you think he'd lose to Bray Wyatt?
Absolutely.
You're fucking full of shit.
Brock Lesnar's at the end of his career. Bray Wyatt's in the middle. Or I don't know, beginning or middle. Bray Wyatt's yet to. This is also Bray Wyatt's second match since he's come back. So yes.
Brock Lesnar don't give a shit. Brock Lesnar will beat him if he takes the streak after he's done been champion and all that stuff. He's been UFC champion. He's done more things in and outside the ring before he beat the streak than he did after. He's not losing to Bray Wyatt. I mean, obviously he's not even stepping foot in that match. But if he even like had a charitable day and said, you know what, yeah, I'll make Bray famous for a night. All it would be was him tossing this little masked ass around like a rag doll for 5 minutes.
And Bray Wyatt no selling it.
Trying to.
Man, that'd be such an awesome match. He'd be taking Bray Wyatt to Suplex City. With each suplex, Bray Wyatt would get back up, no selling, just keep coming forward like the monster he is. Brock Lesnar's gonna be like, oh, what do I gotta do to keep this man down? Who was that? Speaking, I'm gonna go off the rails here. Who was that? There used to be a wrestler, and I'm not talking about The Undertaker, although he did it at the beginning. But he was just like always moving forward, essentially. And I want to say it was like Debo's character when he was in WWE.
Zeus?
Yeah, that's what I think I remember. Like he would just like keep walking forward, and people's hitting him, and
Well,
basically impervious to pain.
I'm sure there's been a couple like that, like Andre. The Warrior did that. Either that or he just didn't know how to sell.
Well, he did it after you know, you're talking about the Ultimate Warrior, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it after he got power from his
The
from the
Warriors.
ropes, or
Yeah.
yeah,
It was the power of the Warrior.
yeah. After that, of course he wasn't going to be hurt. He had the power running through his veins. I was a Warrior guy over Hulkamania.
Well,
I don't know. It was the face paint.
I liked Hulk Hogan, man. He was the hero.
He was, but you know, you see the face paint, and they were essentially the same character. Just one had face paint, one didn't. As far as in the ring, you know, get beat up, Hulk up, or do the Warrior. And the Warrior Hulk up was. I also preferred it more. Now, as I got used to it more, I did grow on the hulking up. But the Warrior shaking the ropes. Also, boy, we're way off the rails, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Another person to put in that list is Tatanka. He was underrated with his Hulk up when he started skipping around the ring.
Yeah.
Like he flew under the radar with that one. But I love that one too.
Nah, I like the Hulk up. I like when he just looks. Like, oh, you done did it now.
And points the finger and
Uh huh.
wags it.
No, the wag didn't. That was later.
Oh,
I want to say that's when he came back to the WWE. So where were we?
yeah, probably. As you can see, it was such an interesting show for. So yeah, we got Bobby Lashley who's calling out Bray
Right.
Wyatt. Bray Wyatt wasn't there, and he's still not there.
Did Uncle
We
Howdy
then go. Nope,
come? Okay. So you don't
no
want to get
Bray
his ass whooped
representation
again?
at all. Yeah. We then go to a backstage segment. Carmella, she's doing an interview. She's saying how she's gonna beat Bianca Belair, and they're gonna make it a triple threat match. And she's surprised that they didn't. Sorry, I got that wrong. Not that it matters, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Carmella said that she knows that Adam Pearce put her in this match just to get her out of his non-existing hair. But once she beats Bianca Belair, he's gonna have no other choice but to make it a triple threat match. Chelsea Green comes into the picture, and they're both kind of bashing on Adam Pearce, talking about how he's bald and he sucks at his job. And Adam Pearce walks up behind them. He sees them both talking. He's on his phone, and he's like, "Nope." Turns around and walks the other way. All this leads to Chelsea Green being in the corner of Carmella for her match against Bianca Belair. So teams, and that's the reason we had to talk about all that is to say that it seems like there's a team being created there, Chelsea Green and Carmella.
Oh boy.
Then we go to the Carmella
Watch
match.
out, wrestling world.
Yeah, they're gonna take it by
Carmella and
storm.
Chelsea Green. Oh my God.
Hey, I know you're excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be the best thing since the Road Warriors.
Yeah, Legion of Doom, Demolition, all of them
Yep.
better watch out. Um, so this leads us into a Bianca Belair versus Carmella match. Um, of course, Bianca Belair's got WrestleMania coming up, so she wins the match, and there's not much I can really say about the match. Carmella, just like I don't know if we said it last week, but oddly, Carmella got a lot of offense on this in this match. So I don't know why they are putting such a spotlight on Carmella right now, especially when the the actual match that's happening at WrestleMania between champion and challenger are getting pretty much no spotlight. Tell you what I mean in a second here. So post match, right after the match, Bianca Belair wins. Chelsea Green jumps in the ring. She is joining in with Carmella on a beatdown of Bianca Belair. Out comes Asuka. Her music plays. She is in high heels for some reason. She can't run,
Yeah,
or she did
that
run,
was
but
a poor
she's
choice. I'm
yeah,
like, how
uh,
what if she has to like run the ropes or something?
yeah. I don't know why she was wearing high heels, but she was struggling. And of course, they're in the ring looking at her, and she's she's stumbling and getting into the ring. So it's weird there. She didn't have her face paint on. I don't know if that was important or not,
It's
but
not. She didn't have
it's
her face paint
information
on
to
last time. I don't think. Oh wait, yeah, she did. But she
yeah.
had a match.
She's
She had a match with Nikki Cross. But there was a she had a confrontation before some pay per view, Elimination Chamber, where she didn't have face paint on, but she had the blue stuff.
yeah. It's I don't know. I don't know if it's significant, like when she's wearing face paint or not. Like I don't know if that's like a I don't know if that's a visual cue that we're supposed to be picking up on,
I don't think
but
so.
um,
I just think she was in street clothes and she helped Bianca Belair at the last second,
yes.
even though they
So
still had
she
time to cue up her music and stuff.
yes. So runs to the ring. She saves Bianca Belair, and then for the next I don't know minute or so, they each take turns pointing at the WrestleMania sign as um. Oh, she, important note here. Asuka, she went to mist Carmella. Carmella ducked out of the way. She misted Chelsea Green, and it was blue mist. Uh, why do I say it's blue mist? Because some people, there's like a history of like the mist color. So for those people, there you go. It's blue mist.
It was blue mist
And
last week.
yeah,
It's been blue. It's been blue since she turned since she changed her face paint. I don't know if I remember she misted Dominique. I can't remember what color it was though. I can't remember if that was blue or not.
I
I
think that one was green.
okay. I'm not.
But I don't know. There's mistologists out there who can tell you like what the color of the mist means. So for those people, and if you are one of those people, perhaps you could put it in the chat for the rest of us. Put it in the comments below, the like button. And yes, it was blue mist, spow in the face of Chelsea Green because Carmella ducked. Now she since she shot the mist, now she has the blue goo
She's got
running down her chin.
all down her chin. It's in her teeth,
Yes.
and she's just sitting there smiling with blue teeth, and this blue cum just rolling down her chin. And they're both just staring at each other awkwardly. And they both
And
look at
pointing at the
they
WrestleMania
both
sign.
look at the WrestleMania sign because that's what it is. And then Bianca Belair has her little serious face on. Just it was really awkward. Everything about it. From Asuka's shoes to the stare down. It was just awkward.
Yeah. Now, remember I did point out that last week I said you could argue of the women's matches that this would be more main event worthy
They're not
than
building
the
it up like it
Charlotte.
is.
Yes, there's completely no build. Uh, and then that's also the reason I said I don't know why Carmella. You can honestly say that Carmella's been built better in these few weeks. Carmella's been built up better than this title match has. Like she's gotten more shine than the title match has.
Well, that's why I didn't understand why Nikki Cross had so much offense against Asuka last week. because she's in the WrestleMania match going for the title, not Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross isn't. She couldn't even win a War Games match.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Very weird what they're doing there.
yeah, I don't know. Like, why are you gonna change Asuka's face paint? Why are you gonna build up the Kana stuff? Why are you gonna have her be dominant in the Elimination Chamber just to have like this flat build? Is
Well,
she a
she is
heel? Is
gonna
she a
win,
face?
and that was another thing. Like, she's been dancing in between. This tonight she was like full blown face,
Right.
coming out for the save.
She was face
Um,
last time too. I mean, she hasn't really done anything that's heel.
well, there was the one week where she attacked everybody in the ring
The Royal Rumble.
before elimination. No, before elimination chamber. They
Oh,
had
where she attacked all
that
the
six
opponents.
woman tag, and she attacked everybody.
Oh well.
That's about as heel as she's been.
Okay.
But I think the idea was to bring her back and be a heel, but she's gotten such a reaction, they probably pulled back on that.
Yeah, it was like I kind of liked the first stare down she had with Belair, where she was cupping her ears with when the people were cheering her, and just kind of feeding into that.
Yeah.
This one, they need to stop doing close ups when she's got that blue teeth and that shit running down her chin, man. Like,
It was off-putting, and they held it
yeah,
there a long time and kept
yeah.
showing it too.
She's
Like,
just
how long is this segment?
and she's licking her teeth, and it's just, it was borderline disgusting. And I never thought, like, don't get me wrong, Asuka's an attractive lady, but not when she's got that blue shit running down her chin, man. Looks like she looks like she got gangbanged by the Smurfs.
Pretty much. Um, they're probably going to build to like a double tag team match. I would assume it'll come this week or next week.
Oh yeah, gotta get that tag
Um,
team match.
Chelsea Green and Carmella versus Asuka and Bianca Belair, and the age-old can they coexist before
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
WrestleMania?
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right. In fact, I'd bet money on that.
Yeah, I can. It just I don't know if it's gonna happen this week or the next week, but
It's gotta happen.
definitely looks like
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. Um, after that segment, we move on to a backstage segment. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they're talking to each other. Sami again is pleading with Kevin Owens is to join him in this fight against the Bloodline. He said, it's too much for us to handle individually. We need to do this together. Look, we don't have to be friends. We just need to do this together to take down the Bloodline. Um, and then he said something about, look, I used to be in the Bloodline. He's like, that's right. And that's where Kevin
Yeah.
Owens comes in. It's like, that's right. You did used to be in the Bloodline. Like, you were a part of all this. So he reiterated that he didn't want to be a part of it. Leave him out.
He even said, "Go back to Roman and apologize. He'll probably take you back."
Yeah, which was funny. Yeah, go apologize. I bet he'll take you back. Like, because if you're really sorry, he'll probably take you back.
Yeah.
Tell him he's the tribal chief.
But yeah, he just doesn't want anything to do with Sammy.
And that was funny because I thought about it. I was like, you know what? In character, if he did go apologize, call him the tribal chief, I bet you Roman would would forgive him. Like that's how in control Roman is. Like if someone's really, really sorry, it's like, I know why you did it. I forgive you. But then he would still have to be tested. And so it'd be a weird dynamic, no doubt. But I bet you Roman would would let him back in
Okay.
as an honorary. But that's how that segment ends. We then go to Miz TV. We finally get our Logan Paul, Seth Rollins face to face. Let's see what we got here. Oh, so Logan Paul, he comes out first, or The Miz comes out first. Logan Paul comes out, and then out comes Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was about as over as he's ever been here. He gets to the ring, his music stops, and then for the next like 2-3 minutes, the crowd in Boston, they're still singing the oh, oh, oh. So they just kept going. Um, and then the Logan Paul and Seth Rollins, they're soaking it in, just letting the crowd do their thing. As it's going on, Logan Paul's like, "Hey, we got a time limit on this segment. let's get, let's move on." Which of course, Logan Paul tried to move on, which then caused the crowd to get louder. So they're they're over him talking, so you couldn't even really hear what he was saying. Um, so that was a pretty great thing there. The gist of the whole segment.
I would have put a bullet in my head if I was there. You kidding me?
um, the gist of the whole segment was Logan Paul. He pretty much tells Seth Rollins that he's only been doing this thing for less than a year, and he's surpassed everything that Seth Rollins has done. Um, which then got the crowd chanting to after his little part of the promo. The crowd started chanting "Fuck you, Logan," and it's important to note here, they muted it. They didn't mute it, but you can hear them, the production crew, turn the mics down so you could barely hear the crowd. You could still hear it because they were saying it that loud,
Yeah.
but they turned the microphones down so it was really muffled.
Hmm.
Uh,
What did Logan
Seth
Paul do?
Rollins, what did he do?
Yeah, wasn't he like all loved and shit on Crown Jewel?
Yeah,
And then he came back at Royal Rumble. Everybody's booing him. Why?
well, I guess he's just playing his natural character, but he had a crypto scam that, like in real life, he had a crypto scam,
So the so
so
the
it's
wrestling
just
redneck
carried over.
fans are really they have their finger on the pulse on the cryptocurrency market.
Apparently,
Okay.
I mean, this scam like went big, like mainstream.
Okay.
So it's possible that they just like heard their news outlet talking about it. What's that crypto? What's that crypto? How do I get me some of that? Or how do I get up there and get me some of that crypto?
Oh wow.
Yeah, I went there, and
Up there.
yeah, um, and yeah. So then we have Seth Rollins calling him like a troll and a scam artist.
Mm.
So which then got a big pop from the crowd, and Seth Rollins challenges Logan Paul to a fight right there in Boston. Logan Paul said, "I'm not wrestling in Boston. I'm a prize fighter. I'm a draw. Like I don't fight for free. If the money's right and the stage is big enough for my star power, then I'll consider a match. Obviously, that being WrestleMania. So they make the match. The Miz, he says, being the host of WrestleMania, I have the power to make matches, so I can get this match made. Both men agree, and Seth Rollins throws the Miz out of the ring, and
Just a
him
matter
and
of time.
yeah, he throws the Miz. He's like, "Oh, you can make matches? Well, go make it." Throws him out of the ring.
Why does the Miz even agree to shit like this anymore?
What, to host WrestleMania?
To do Miz TV. It always ends with him getting knocked out.
Oh, because he thinks he's a big deal movie star.
Yeah, but you would think just if if this were real life, you would just think if common sense would kick in at some point. Like I've been getting knocked the fuck out every time I do one of these things. Maybe we just do it remotely.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just an observation.
yeah, it makes sense. It's not like Piper's Pit where he was usually getting over on people.
Yeah, he's the assaulter.
Yeah,
Which that would make sense if the Miz had a TV show and he's the one that like used it to get the drop on somebody. But it's just he's trying to conduct a serious interview between two wrestlers and it always ends up with him getting knocked out.
yeah, it sure does. But yeah, he gets thrown out the ring, and then as Seth Rollins turns around, Logan Paul hits him with that one lucky right hand, knocks Seth Rollins smooth out. And then like as he knocks him out, you hear Logan Paul yelling, "Whoa!" And then he rolls out of the ring. Seth sold this great. He didn't. He was like really selling that he was knocked out, so he didn't move or do anything like that. And that's pretty much how the segment goes off the air, as Logan Paul is like blowing on his knuckles. So that is the build towards the Seth Rollins. Well, officially the Seth Rollins Logan Paul match has been made.
Okay.
Uh,
You like silly shit. Are you excited for this match?
I am excited for this match.
Can you tell me
As a
why?
matter of fact, it's going to be quite the match. It might be, it might be the match of the night. Now that's a stretch, but it could be the match of the night.
Why do you say that?
Um, Logan Paul puts on exciting matches, even
He's
though
had two
he.
matches, three matches, two singles
Well,
matches,
we're
and
going.
and really one was with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns milks so much shit that like it's not really a match.
Well, I'm saying we're going based off of the Roman match, and that was heralded by a lot of people as a good match.
Okay.
The people who rate matches, we don't rate matches, so we can only go by what they rate
No,
them.
I think we were rating matches then. I think I gave it two bags of chips.
Oh yeah, and I gave it
Remember?
5.
Remember the chips?
Or no, I gave it 4.99 bags of chips or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. And I said it can't be a 5 because the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels is a 5, so it can't be at that level, but it can be like under that level, but still good.
I don't know. I just
I don't just throw around 5s like it's a bag of chips.
this is just one kind of like the Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley thing. This just seems like one of those programs that's just out of nowhere and forced. I don't understand the build. I hate it when they use social media to advance an angle. Because that means I gotta fucking follow their Twitter accounts. to see what's.
See, now when you're talking about Cody Rhodes' angle, and I said they haven't talked about any of his stuff on TV, he said, "Well, you know the story." Well, that means I would have
You
had
don't
to
need.
follow it myself.
Absolutely. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. All you need to do is pay attention to the fact that he's gone to New Japan. And
I
Ring of
haven't watched
Honor.
New Japan.
You still know that he went there, and you still know that he was part of the Bullet Club, and you still know that he was pretty. He was at the top there.
Barely.
You still know.
I don't know if I don't know if he won any titles there. I couldn't tell you that.
I think he did. I don't know 100% myself, but I mean he was the leader of the Bullet Club. I'm pretty sure he did win the title. You know about
I'm
his
sure.
AEW story? I mean, come on, that's apples and oranges.
I mean, who doesn't watch Impulsive? That's pretty much
I don't.
household
Fuck
TV
that shit.
viewing. That's pretty much household TV viewing.
I,
Paul is dating porn stars, huh?
I'd
He's a
rather
simp for Lana Rose. There we go. Got
I'd
it out
rather
that
watch
time.
two girls in one cup.
Never saw it.
You know, you're not missing anything.
I know, I know of it, and that's why I've never. I
Yeah,
know what it is. That's why I've never seen
I'm just saying.
it.
There's a whole lot of things I'd rather watch than fucking Logan Paul.
Well, me and my sports entertainment is ready for this match. I'm ready to be sports entertained.
And I don't know. It's just going to be because Seth Rollins is a different type of worker. Roman's slow and methodical.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's going to be. I'm going to tell you the match raters. Well, again, we're not talking about our own ratings. We're talking about the people who are heralded for their ratings. I'm going to tell you that it'll get at least a 4-star rating. I guess, according to the Nelson rating, is I guess the only thing we're judging. Everything I just said now just like pretty much pigeonholed it to the Meltzer rating.
Yeah. Well, I'm
I
not
mean,
going to be. I'm not going to be silly enough to rate something that I haven't seen. But I'm not. I don't have high hopes. I will say that.
well, it is a made match. Let us know in the comments if you're excited or not. After that match, I have trouble reading my writing, so give me a second here.
I have Jimmy, Joe, and Paul backstage. It's Jimmy Uso, Sokoa Joe, and Paul Heyman.
Yes, and they're still talking about the marching orders.
Yeah, that's really it. Just reiterates that it's Jimmy's fault if Jey doesn't come back to the bloodline by the end of the week.
Yes, and of course he's gonna come back. Like, well, sorry, I didn't mean to spoil it like that, but
Yeah, good job.
yeah, sorry.
All right, well,
Uh,
all
and
right,
then on
well,
to
if there's
SmackDown.
anything you agree with,
uh, yes. So I got after that. Let's see if we match up here. There was a complete squash match for Dolph Ziggler and the Giant Omos. And I do mean a squash match. So I guess the backstory on this whole match was um, Mustafa Ali, who has this whole new gimmick of like being positive or something, because he because remember Dolph Ziggler told him to look on the bright side or something like that, and then he beat Dolph Ziggler, so he's like playing this character that's overly positive in a mocking kind of way. I don't know. But they're kind of continuing the feud between him and Dolph Ziggler, where he made a match between Ziggler and Omos. The match didn't even last 2 minutes. Omos wins with his Kali Slam. A complete squash match. No offense by Dolph Ziggler at all. So,
So how did Mustafa have any authority to make a match between the two?
uh, he went and talked to Adam Pearce to make the match between
Okay.
Ziggler. I don't know how he how he did it, but
Okay.
that's what he said. He talked to Adam Pearce and got a match between the two.
Gotcha.
Um, yes. After that little doozy of a after that squash match segment, we then go to. Let me just make sure I'm on the right page here, and I am. Sophia Carson, or what's her name? That's her real name. Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree, she's talking about how gorgeous Otis is. Baron Corbin, he's he was standing in between Otis and the Maximum Male models, so he thought they were talking about him, and he's like, "Thank you, I really needed that. I've been having such a hard time. I lost my mentor, yada yada yada." And finally, Massey interrupts him and says, "Gross, we were talking about Otis." That's his new Maximum Male model name's Otis. And he says, um, he wants to be in the Maximum. This is Baron Corbin now. He wants to be in the Maximum Male models. Sophia Cars. Golly, I keep messing up her name. Maxine Dupree says, "You know what? You can be in the male models if you take care of the short, ugly one." That's what she said. She's talking about Chad Gable. So
Okay.
they're back to making fun of Chad Gable's height again. And then we have a match made later for um, Corbin and Chad Gable. We then move on to. It was a backstage segment. There wasn't much to.
Why would you spend any time on this?
These are the sub stories that you need to follow.
Why would you sit
So
around
that,
and say, you know what would be a good idea? Let's have Otis become part of the Maximum Male models. That'd be great.
well, like we talked about last week, they're it looks like they are doing a split of the Alpha Academy.
And that's
So
fine, but you could turn Otis into a monster heel. You could, I mean, yeah, repackage Gable. He's great. I think Otis is great too. Just stop just making him a punchline.
yeah, they want him in the comedy role. They think that's where he fits best. And don't get it twisted. This is the comedy role. Like
Oh, absolutely.
there's nothing else but that.
All right.
Um, we then go to the Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor match. Uh, in a surprising turn of events, Johnny Gargano wins this match.
Huh.
The match lasted somewhere like 7, 8 minutes, maybe 9 minutes. Gargano wins off of a distraction from Edge. Edge, he then says that he's going to be in the middle of the ring next week. and he wants Finn Balor to come out and face him man to man. So there you go.
Weren't they just in the same? Weren't they just in the ring together?
Yes, but he cost him his match.
So why didn't he just talk then?
Sorry, I completely messed that up. He cost Finn Balor the match. He was then talking backstage to do like the backstage interview,
Mm-hmm.
and this was actually later. But I'm just flipping it in here, and then that's where he
Oh,
said, this is starting to affect both of our careers. Yet to have accepted the clear match that Balor laid out for him. He said, this is starting to affect both of our careers, so we need to end this. I'm going to be in the ring next week by myself. Balor, I hope you can do the same thing. So I
be
guess
in the
that's where
ring
we're
by himself.
officially, yes, basically,
Okay,
basically come out there and face him without the Judgment Day.
gotcha.
So that's probably where we're gonna get the official match being made. The word on the street is it's gonna be a Hell in the Cell match. So there.
Okay,
Oh, you even got it in the notes. So there you go.
what's that?
I didn't skip too far ahead. You got the Edge backstage part,
Oh, yeah.
so I didn't skip too far ahead.
No.
Um, After the Gargano match, we have another quick match. Nikki Cross versus Piper Niven.
Oh,
Pretty quick match. Piper Niven wins.
God. Okay.
This wasn't the best match that they've ever put on. We'll
They
just
put
say it
on.
that way.
Have they wrestled before?
I'm sure they have. I'm just saying, or okay, individually, Nikki Cross and Piper Niven. If you were to stack up their matches and most memorable matches, each individually from their career, this match is not going to be one of them. We'll just say that.
I've never seen a
Put it
good Nikki
nicely.
Cross match.
Well, if you were, we're just saying it wasn't a good match. They did
Okay.
not work good together. Like the whole match was pretty much like out of sync.
Yeah.
Even so far as Piper Niven botching her own finisher. Like her finisher is like the Big Boss Slam or something. Well, she botched that, and yeah, so it wasn't a good match.
There you go. Completely
Don't know.
unrelated, but what happened to Alexa Bliss?
Alexa Bliss is. That's interesting that
Did
you
she,
bring that up.
oh yeah.
So there was a report. I think it was like Thursday, maybe Thursday, maybe before.
Okay.
But there was a report that Alexa Bliss was on a hiatus, so she was just taking time off. That was the report. But then she came out and tweeted that report and said, they're here they go spreading false news again. I'm not taking any breaks. They know where to find me, or they know how to get in touch with me, is what she said. So apparently she's just not on TV, according to her.
Okay.
But according to you know, those reports that we that we talk about, according to those dirt sheeters, she's on a hiatus. I don't know who you believe in that all, but
So they're saying that she's taking time off away from TV, and then she's saying, "No, I'm just not on TV."
yeah, they're saying
Okay.
she she they're saying she asked for a break. She doesn't want to do it right now. needed personal time or something, and she was like,
Oh,
"No, they're just not using me."
thank God.
So I don't know why you would like clarify it. I guess you know, like I don't know if it's any better for you to say no, they're just not using me.
Right. Well, especially
Like,
after
how's
they
that
did that
better for
whole
you?
swing set shit at Elimination Chamber. Was it Elimination Chamber? Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's when she
I
wrestled
think
Belair.
so. Yeah, she's been off TV. No, she's been off TV since yeah, right after she loses to Bianca Belair. She's not been on TV since. And remember, they had that whole thing with Uncle Howdy
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
Bray Wyatt, and they seem to have just scrapped that whole idea.
Which I ain't mad at. She should Bliss should count herself lucky if she's no longer a part of that, because
Well, they were
that's
supposed to
only going
close the
downhill.
story. They were supposed to close that story.
Well, fuck that story. It was stupid anyway.
Well, it's dropped, so there you go.
Good. Good. Hope she cried. Oh, she. Oh, she just curled up with a pillow and laid on her side with tears rolling down
I
while
mean, you
listening
can
to
assume that
Sarah
she wasn't.
McLachlan.
You can assume she wasn't happy. She does like to be used.
Maybe that's a good product of Vince McMahon coming back.
Well, allegedly he was just there to see John Cena with a mustache. Him having the mustache, not John Cena.
Well, maybe that's where the hair on the back of John Cena's head went.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know, it was the weirdest thing, this whole report thing, that Vince McMahon was back, right?
Yeah.
Back back in backstage. So that was the report. Vince McMahon was backstage. And then later on during the show, they said it's been reported that Vince McMahon has a mustache. So you mean to tell me,
And he dyed his hair.
yeah, and he dyed his hair, so he's got a mustache and darker hair, looking like probably Tom Selleck or something. I don't know.
Yeah. He got that flavor saver.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me though, this source that is reporting these to these news sources, they see Vince McMahon, and that's the first thing they want to run back and do. Uh, hey guys, I imagine the person who's the source probably keeps a burner phone in their trunk in their car. So they see Vince McMahon with his mustache and his dyed hair, and then they have to run out to their car to get their burner phone so they can text or call these dirt sheets and tell them, "Oh, Vince McMahon's here and he has a mustache."
Well,
Like
the
this is what I picture in my head.
well, the main headline is the fact that he was in gorilla position all night, and I mean they made sure to mention that he didn't affect any of the script. But there was still speculation that now there's just proves that Vince is more involved than he seems, and it'll be really telling if he's there on SmackDown. And were you able to find out if he was at SmackDown or not?
I did not see anything.
Okay, and then it was like, oh, and he's got a creepy mustache.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of evolved from the initial shock of him just being there.
They're like, "Oh, that news is kind of dying out. Let's put some more news into it."
Yeah,
He
put
has a
more meat on
mustache
that bone.
too.
It's creepy. They had to point out that it's creepy.
Yeah, which is subjective.
It is.
Um, because the picture I saw, he actually looks like he can pull off a mustache. There's some people who can actually pull off the mustache look.
Yeah.
You gotta have like the thick mustache. You can't have the little pencil, because then
D-
you just look like a child molester.
Dax has a
But
great mustache.
yeah, like Dex, he has a great mustache. It's gotta fill that whole thing from your lip to your nose.
Yeah.
It's gotta fill that all. And that's what I was when I heard he had a mustache. I was like, I wonder if he if he fills that mustache out, or if he has like a little pencil, or maybe a little pencil with a little handlebar at the end.
Right.
The guys got the handlebars, got all the hair gel or whatever they put in it to make it
Mush.
bar up.
It's just mustache wax.
There you go.
Sometimes they in competitions and stuff. Sometimes they'll use hairspray, but that's not good for the hair.
Uh,
That just killed the conversation entirely, didn't that?
no, I just didn't know how to what else to add to it. You just really went in deep with the mustache.
Yeah. Well, God dang it, what were we talking about?
Vince McMahon having his mustache.
I don't know. I lost it. Oh yeah. The picture I saw was fake. So because there was a fake photo circulating. So I haven't actually seen an actual picture of his mustache.
Well, I saw one from Fightful,
Okay.
but yeah, there's no way to tell if that was a real or a fake mustache.
Was he posing with somebody backstage?
Triple H.
Oh, he was posing with Triple H.
Yeah,
Oh.
but Triple H wasn't in his glasses, and also Triple H. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
And yeah, why couldn't that source who then got the information that he was in his mustache get the picture? You don't want to risk. You would have been outed if they saw the flash.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine why you would use a flash in this day and age to begin with.
Sometimes your phone, it, if it's on, you don't realize it's on auto, and then it takes a flash. There was.
Okay.
Never mind. I'm not gonna tell that story. But you guys, all I can say is, if you're taking a picture of someone without their consent, make sure you don't have the flash on, or it's gonna get awkward. So, because you get that flash, and then you gotta try to play that off. What the hell just happened?
I never got nailed by the flash, but I always get nailed by the sound. The
Oh yeah, you got the volume down. Yeah, because you hear the.
You're like, God damn it.
Yeah, you gotta pretend. You gotta pretend like it wasn't the obvious camera flash sound.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, the camera sound.
Or you gotta make up some lame excuse like, I'm taking pictures for the yearbook.
Oh no, that's just my ringtone.
Uh,
Or yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Vince McMahon was backstage. We have another backstage segment to go along with that. After the Nikki Cross match, that was that's a segue.
yeah, that was a good one. Seamless.
So so my boy Rick Boogs, he was backstage talking to Elias. Well, first, before he even talked to Elias, he was trying to deadlift a semi truck, and he's struggling to lift the truck. This is when the camera cuts to him. He's struggling to lift the truck, and he's telling the production guy or whoever's standing with him, "I swear, if this had handles on it, I swear I could get it up." So that's Rick Boogs, and then
Okay.
and then enter. So this guy's trying to deadlift a semi truck. In walks Elias, and Boog's like, "Oh, I forgot my notes." And he said, "You don't need notes. You've taken enough notes. It's time for action now." And he says, "You see that guy over there, who's Bronson Reed?" He said, "Go over there and say you want to fight that guy." And Boogs is not understanding what Elias is telling him. He's like, I don't get it." And he says, "Boogs, read my lips. Say, I want to fight you." Boog says, "Got it." So he goes over there, talks to Bronson Reed, and and immediately because Bronson Reed starts looking over at Elias. Immediately he messed this up.
Of
So
course.
then Bronson Reed walks over to Elias and says, "Oh, you want to fight me? It's your funeral. I'll see you next week." So next week we're gonna have next week Elias is gonna have to get scraped off the ground. He's gonna have to get scraped off the. I don't know why it's so funny. Like it just reminds me of like I don't know something we would do. Oh, yeah, go pick a fight with that guy, and then you go over there and it's like, "Hey, my friend wants to fight you." "What? I'm gonna kick your ass." "What? No, you're supposed to fight him." Remember that? Remember the guy in the truck, that GI Joe Steven Seagal guy with the ponytail, and he parked in front of us and looked at us like he blocked us from getting in a parking spot, and he just looked at us and was like, "Go tell him something." "No, you go tell him." "He has a ponytail. I'm not telling him shit." Yeah, kind of like that. Like, obviously that guy knows karate. Like, look at him. He obviously knows karate. But yeah, so we get a match next week. Elias, he's going to need to be scraped off the mat because he's going to face Bronson Reed. Um, if you paid close attention to this segment and you had an eagle eye, there was something important happening in this segment. In the background of that segment, um, Kevin Owens was sitting on a crate and he was talking to Cody Rhodes. It was such it was such a big thing that most of the people who do this for a living, the review shows and shit, they missed it because no one else was talking about it.
Oh wow.
I was like, am I the only one that's seen
Apparently, because I didn't.
it? Yeah.
Although it wasn't on the Hulu replay,
Oh,
so
yeah. So they're
I have
sitting
an
in the back.
excuse, sort of.
They're sitting in the back. Um, you can tell they're having like a heated conversation. Cody Rhodes is like pointing, and Kevin Owens is like throwing his hands up, like so. Looks like they may have been talking about Sammy, or at least talking about taking down the bloodline or something. Don't know, but They're definitely talking backstage. And then when you get to the main event, it makes more sense that Cody Rhodes ran out. So it does look like Cody Rhodes is looking to be like the bridge between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Yeah, that segment actually, it went so unnoticed, that segment, that they like did a social media post about it on Friday. Like they replayed that segment, and this is the social media team. They replayed that segment. They blew up the fact that they zoomed in on the fact that Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes were talking with an arrow pointing to them in the background saying what are they talking about? Question mark. And then I was reading some of the comments and it's like boy, you're really trying hard to point out that they were talking in the background. Like, yeah, yeah,
Well, it seems
I
like a
guess
lot
it
of
didn't
people
get
missed it.
yeah, they hit it so well that a lot of people missed it,
Yeah.
or they hit it in a segment that no one was paying any attention to because it was an Elias segment.
Right.
So then they had to come back. It's like, hey, we put this Easter egg in here, please, please, people.
Well, that's one of those catch 22s because, if, like, let's say Cody, well, it wouldn't be Cody Rhodes because it was Cody Rhodes, but the Usos, their thing backstage, like if they were showing Cody and Kevin Owens yelling at each other while somebody of the Usos caliber was on screen, then that would take away from the main star. So you'd want.
Yeah,
So then the idea is having a lesser star be on screen while Cody and Kevin do their thing back or in the back, but nobody pays attention to the lesser stars. So it's like you're damned if you do, or you're damned if you don't.
yeah, you were stuck there. I mean, you definitely could have done Elias or something. I don't know. I'm sorry, not Elias. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how you get out of that, but yeah, it was so well hidden. They had to turn around and make it a little bit more obvious on on social
A
media.
little bit more.
Yeah, with the arrow and everything.
Okay.
Look who's talking back here. Yeah. Um, I do kind of see it though, and then we'll speed up after this because it pretty much nothing else happens on the show outside of two more things. But um, I do see it getting to a point where maybe Sami Zayn is gonna challenge the Usos to WrestleMania by himself, and then Kevin Owens is gonna on the night of WrestleMania, so it won't be like announced before, but on the night of WrestleMania, that's when Kevin Owens comes back for the reunion in the tag team match. And then post WrestleMania, it looks like we're gonna be getting, you know, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens as like a trio to go against the Bloodline. I don't know. The last, obviously, they would need one more person to make it four. So it's 4 and 4, or maybe they don't. But if they do, I don't know who they add. But
Well, Sammy
it
can
would be
take
nice.
take on two of them by himself, so I think they're covered.
I understand it would be nice to have four. Um,
Well,
my
who would be
guess
the
would have
fourth?
been, I don't know. My guess would have been Riddle, as he was like the only other person that, because the Bloodline took him out, so it would make sense to bring him back. Although, you know, I don't know if it, I don't know if he would also be a good fit for that. But since the Bloodline took them back, it would make sense that he comes in. If he's serious, like I don't want Grill Riddle coming back. you know, I want to be serious. Take this serious. Don't be bro. And so he'd have to. I guess. I guess it just doesn't. There's no way to work him in, and
No, there's not. He's a package deal with that bro shit.
yeah. I'm just saying he could put it on the back burner while we're going through this. Maybe I don't know if he's coming back already, but maybe it could be like a Randy Orton. You took out my friend in Riddle. I'm gonna help take down the bloodline.
I wonder if
Uh,
Randy Orton's ever going to wrestle again.
yeah, there's that question. But yeah, I don't know who else could really make sense about in it.
I think they're okay with the three.
Well, there you go. And then obviously they're gonna continue this after WrestleMania. They're probably gonna get like a 6-man tag or something as Cody enlists help with the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But um, yeah, so that was the segment that went pretty much unnoticed, and then they had to re-point it out. But and then that's my prediction that Sami Zayn gets he challenges the Usos by himself to WrestleMania, and then Kevin Owens comes out on the night of WrestleMania to help him.
Okay.
Then we get to probably the better segment of the night, and that is John Cena and Austin Theory. Now, would we be in agreement here to say that Cena cooked, not even, not even bodied, he straight cooked Theory?
Well, Theory didn't really say a whole lot.
Well, he didn't.
So, I mean, he didn't really have a. I, I, I don't see a scenario where Theory would have out promoed Cena had they been, given all the time in the world. But Theory still wasn't given an opportunity to cook Cena.
Well, I don't know how he would have came back from
That's true.
like what Cena said to him. I don't know how you. There's nothing you could really say at that point.
Well, he did call out his bald spot.
I know that's what I'm talking about. We'll get into the segment. It'll make sense. So, so we start out. Cena he comes out doing his thing, and before he even starts, Theory comes out, and of course this gets a rain of boos. Theory he says, John Cena, I'm gonna give you a gift because you're one of my heroes of the past. You're the reason I got into wrestling. I'm gonna give you a gift. That gift is to wrestle me at WrestleMania for the United States title.
I guess he had more opportunity to speak than I remember. I guess he really did get cooked.
Oh, well, I think he did. So yeah, so he says that Cena he he says no. It was completely out of left field. He was like, no. He was like, I thought about it, and I've been hearing the thing going around that we're supposed to wrestle you at WrestleMania, and I've thought about it, and my answer is no. Um, I'm not interested in your gift because you haven't earned the right
To give it.
to give it. Cena he then goes and says that Theory is not good and
He's
he's not
unimportant.
believable.
He
Yeah.
has no soul. He has no heart. He's fake. He's phony. He has the best name because he's only a theory. In theory, he's the best. In theory, he's the future. In theory, he's a champion.
Yeah, but he has no heart, and he's not believable, and no one cares. That was
Yeah.
the biggest part. No one cares.
And he says, I'm going to give you a gift, and that's to shut up, turn around, walk away, and you get to walk out of here in one piece.
Yes.
Which, of course, that doesn't happen.
Well, Theory starts to walk out, and then he turns around and he says, "No, I'm not leaving." Which is good because you thought, well, if he leaves, he's pretty much gonna be really embarrassed if he leaves. It's like Roman Reigns all over again. But Theory turns around. He says, he mentions Cena. He said, "I'm not going anywhere," just like that bald spot on the back of your head. And Cena takes his head off and shows off the comb over that he had. Then the line of the whole evening for this whole segment. And Cena, he said, "Yes, I'm bald, but I'd rather," or no, he said, "Yeah, I'm bald. I'd rather be bald than to have them pipe in fake crowd noise because you suck and no one cares about you." And that's where the cook that's that's where he got cooked. Like you are like here Theory is supposed to be the next guy, and now Cena just said they're pumping in fake crowd noise for him because no one really because the fans are silent when he's out there. Damn.
Yeah. And it's
That's
kind
like that's
it
equivalent to calling out a singer for lip syncing or something.
well, it's kind of true. He's not really that important right now. He's just kind of been there. It seems like his entire championship run has just been one big fluke after another.
Well, this is even bigger than that. Cena's just talking about, here he is supposed to be the next, he's supposed to be the future. Like, he's supposed to be the one that takes the company into the next phase of existence, the next Hogan-esque, the future draw. But here they are, they have to pump in crowd noise for him. Um, Now, he can come back from all this. It's just the fact that because when Cena was when he did that promo with Roman Reigns a few years back, he did the same thing to him. When Roman Reigns forgot his promo and he said, "It's called a promo, kid. You better learn it if you're gonna be the be the big dog." Like same kind of thing. He went off script and pretty much buried the guy that's supposed to be the future top of the card. So it worked out for Roman Reigns. We'll see if it works out for Theory. He then went on to say, uh, um, he doubled down. He said, "I'm not accepting your match. And you should be thanking me that I'm not accepting your match because if I do accept your match, you're done. If I go into WrestleMania and beat you, you're done. Even worse, if you go in WrestleMania to beat me, you're done because the next night you're gonna have to go out on Monday Night Raw in front of the toughest crowd that we have in the business, the Raw after WrestleMania crowd, and you're gonna have to explain why that you beat me, and they're gonna eat you alive." That's pretty much what he said. Um,
He said he's not ready.
yeah. So basically, he's not accepting the match to protect him. Um, and then he asked Boston if they wanted to see him wrestle at WrestleMania. Of course, it being in Boston, they said yes. So the match is accepted. Cena will face Theory at WrestleMania for the U.S. title. The, so that shows you there. And then there was a part as Cena's leaving, he says something about he doesn't have it up here, pointing to his brain. He doesn't have it in here, pointing to his heart. And then you don't have it down here, and hit him in the
He nut
balls.
shot. Yeah, he nut shotted him.
Yeah,
Ball tapped him.
and then he like grazed him, but enough that it probably still stung.
Oh yeah.
And then
Strong gust
he
of wind
said,
hits him and it stings.
"Yeah," and he said, "You really need to work on that last one," making a dick joke, pretty much.
Yeah, he said Theory has a small dick.
Yeah. And then, as he's leaving the arena, in a I don't I don't know if you would say it's a passing of the torch because he didn't like
He
Roman
says you
has
don't
the
have
torch
it,
now.
but let me introduce somebody who does have all the tools. And then Cody
And
Rhodes.
that is headlining WrestleMania. And yeah,
Yeah.
out comes Cody Rhodes. And again, I think it was just like a passing of the torch, or just to give Cody like the this is the guy rub thing. I don't know.
It's a weird way to do it. It's an oddly timed way to do it. Because Theory is just standing there. Because I thought they were leading up to a Cody versus Theory match. But then Cody...
Of course, they would have got there.
and then Cody... but Cody came out with a suit. So he literally came out to hug John Cena. So he came out, they hugged, and then they walked back to the dressing room.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
It was a real segment, I guess. I don't know.
And he still had his pyro. He had pyro just to come out and hug and then walk back. I don't know. This is really weird. I didn't like it.
It was a little a foot. It was something was missing in that segment.
Yeah, it was just... It felt shoehorned. In fact, like, there's... This whole week, Cody's been kind of shoehorned. That's been the theme of Cody's trajectory this week.
Yeah, definitely a weird trajectory for him.
Like, he's just shoehorned into this for no reason. Let me just call Cody out here to do nothing but hug. And then we fade to black. And
honestly, I didn't even think he was at the show. I thought he was gone because
right.
they didn't do any teasers that Cody Rhodes is gonna have a promo. Cody Rhodes is gonna be in action. They didn't do any of that, so I was like, oh, he's probably not even there. And then yeah, he unadvertised shows up, and it's just a weird thing that it's for John Cena to raise his hand.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know.
With his full entrance.
It wasn't quite a full entrance. I was expecting him to come out with the weightlifting belt and give it to kids. See, that would have been funny. He does a full entrance.
To stand at the ramp.
To stand at the ramp and then walk back.
Like even walks down the ramp to give it to a kid and then walk back.
I did notice that while they were doing the whoa part of Cody's song, they cut to the the commentator desk, and there was a guy trying to mug for the camera, and then you realize like, oh shit, I gotta act like I'm enjoying the show. So then he poorly lip synced to the song.
I didn't see that.
Well, that's all. I got you.
Yeah, so that's the end of the segment. And that, kids, is how Cena Cooked Theory.
Yeah.
um,
I didn't think it
but
really did
again,
anything to to put interest in this match, though.
Um, in the match, no. Really, what it did, and as it should, it puts more interest in after the match.
Yeah.
Like where, like Cena said, if you beat me, you're gonna have to come out in front of the toughest crowd that we have, and you're gonna have to explain yourself, and they're gonna eat you alive, and they're not gonna believe a word you're saying. So, so when he does beat John Cena, and he will,
You
it
should.
will be interesting to see if if he can handle himself in front of that. After that segment, the tag champs are here, and that being the women's tag champs. Um, Becky and Lita, they come out. Becky oddly called herself a legend, and and Lita also being a legend. And then they call out Trish Stratus because she helped them. Out comes Damage Control. My goodness, was Bailey as thick as she could ever be? Like, Bailey is. I'm gonna stop here for a second because this is the most important part of the segment. Bailey is like a freaking Snickers bar with how thick she is, or she's like a Dairy Queen ice cream. You know how they turn it upside down and no ice cream falls out, and like that's her thing. That's
Yeah.
that's how thick she is. God, she was. She, anyway, before it gets weird, so Bailey is looking as thick as she can be. She comes out with Damage Control. Io and Dakota Kai was also there, but you know, with how Bailey was looking, she clearly overshadowed them for this night. And the camera got the ass shot, so yeah, it almost looked like it was photoshopped with how big it was. Anyway, uh, that's the most important part of this segment. The other part of this segment is that they make a trios match for WrestleMania. Damage Control versus Trish, Lita, and Becky.
So. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um. Yeah. So Damage Control they challenged for the triple threat match. I guess to also point out, Bailey accepted, and Damage Dakota Kai and Io Sky they both looked annoyed that she accepted the match without talking to them. And then she also did that for their tag team match that cost them to lose the title. So looks like they're really gearing towards the breakup of the group. But then you also had Bailey talking about she wanted to add more members, so maybe she makes a new Damage Control or something. I don't know where they're going with that. Um, the group's dead anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
So,
Especially now, they don't even get a rematch for their belts.
no, they get a a 6-woman tag match.
Okay. Well, I wasn't gonna watch
And
it anyway.
they had to do that because
No, they didn't.
apparently they need. Well, hold on. Apparently they were gonna get Trish Stratus on the card, and it was either that or give her the other option, or the other rumor was she was gonna have a um, one-on-one with Bailey. So I guess she wasn't ready for a one-on-one match, so they did a triple threat, or I'm sorry, 6-woman instead. And then so after that segment, we move on to our main event of the evening for Monday Night Raw: Jimmy Uso versus Sami Zayn. Um, the match was whatever it was, we could say.
Yeah, it wasn't really much of a
The
match.
yeah, nothing really happened there. Towards the end of the match, Jey Uso he comes down from the entrance, or I'm sorry, from the crowd like he's been doing. But this time he actually jumps the barricade and stands on the announce table. And he's kind of cheering on Jimmy Uso at the time. And then out of nowhere, Sami Zayn rolls up Jimmy Uso and gets the win.
Now, it's important to mention that Sokoa Joe followed Jimmy out to the match. Now, there's a part where Jimmy throws Sammy outside the ring, and Sokoa Joe is kind of standing there. Now, he does kind of make it look like he's going to hit him with the spike, but he maybe takes a step. Well, the referee looks at him and sees him just standing there and says, "No, that's a little bit too much for me. You're out of here." So later on in this match, Jay comes through the crowd, running through the crowd, jumps the barricade, and stands on the announce table. Referee's fine with this. He's okay. He'll allow it.
Well, he wasn't gonna hit him, but it was causing a distraction. But he did catch Solo kind of in the act of about to Samoan
He
Spike
took a
saying,
little tiny step.
"Yeah, was it too much? Of course, but he needed to be out so that this segment can play out the way it was."
That's not a good excuse to have something stupid. Progression of a storyline is not the reason to just forego common sense and reason.
Well, it did. So yes, that is important though that Solo he got kicked out of ringside. So this whole thing was just Sammy, Jimmy, and Jay. So yeah, after that out of nowhere roll up, it was a crucifix pin if it matters. And post match, Sami Zayn he rolls out of the ring and he's standing in the entrance ramp at the bottom. And Jay he was standing on the announce table. He gets into the ring. He's face to face with his brother. Um, no words were said. He's like twisting his shirt, ripping at his shirt, really conflicted. And after a few moments, he rolls out of the ring front side,
He
and he
walks right
joins
past
Sami Zayn.
Jimmy.
Yes, and he joins Sami Zayn on the outside. Jimmy is devastated, so he's dropped to one knee. He's just devastated. He knows that's his ass. He knows Roman Reigns,
He's
who
gonna get
told him,
clipped because
yeah,
that's what they do
Roman
in
Reigns.
wrestling now. They clip them.
Well, Roman Reigns said if Jimmy's not back by Friday, it's I'm not gonna blame Jimmy. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna blame Jay. I'm gonna blame Jimmy. So this his ass was on the line, and when Jay rolled out of the ring and joined Sammy, he knew that was his ass.
Yeah.
uh, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, they embrace in a big hug. Jay said, Jay says, "I trust you." As they hug, and him and Sami Zayn, who are now standing outside, they're both facing Jimmy, who's in the ring, down on his knees, just devastated.
He's all fucked up.
Yeah, they, Jimmy, I'm sorry, Jay and Sammy, they hold up the ones. I don't know why they did that, but they did.
Yeah, that was a little weird,
Because
wasn't it?
yeah, but I guess saying it out loud is because you know everybody's the twos and we're the ones. You know that's what the Usos do. But yeah, it was kind of weird. Um, Also, a little detail of the whole thing: I'm sorry, Jay was still wearing a Bloodline shirt. That was also weird if he was leaving the Bloodline but still wearing a Bloodline shirt. But the whole time you knew that he's obviously not gonna join Sami Zayn, but at this moment they're both standing outside together.
The whole time you knew?
Um, I didn't. Did get fooled, but like I didn't know where exactly they were going with it. Um, I just thought it was weird that he was still wearing a Bloodline shirt, even though he was not going to be in the Bloodline.
What do you expect him to have a shirt made? Like, I'm turning on the bloodline. Gotta get me my new shirt.
Not a new shirt, but he could just have a plain T-shirt. He doesn't need the Bloodline shirt. Like, I understand you don't have new merch yet, but just don't wear any merch.
Well, then
Just wear a shirt out there.
He's got to bring something from his closet.
Like, you can't just wear a white T-shirt out there. But yeah, so he's standing out there, standing out there with Sammy. That's just a little nitpick. Um, he's standing out there with Sammy. They're throwing up the ones. Um, Sami Zayn starts to get fired up. He's like, okay, now we're finally going to get to take down the bloodline. In the back of the mind, I did think your thing was going to come to fruition.
What?
Jey and Sammy were going to face Jimmy and Solo. I thought that's where we were going with it. But then, out of nowhere, super kick. Jey Uso in Jordan 1s. Super kick Sami Zayn. Super kick Sami Zayn. And in a sense, rejoins his brother. He grabs
Dude,
Sami Zayn by his beard. He's hitting on him. He says,
you thought I was gonna
uh,
choose
you
you?
thought, yeah, you thought you thought I was gonna choose you. This is about family. It's always been about family. And now both of the Usos are beating up on Sami Zayn. Out comes Solo Sikoa, where he was before all of this whole thing. That's beyond me. But out comes Solo Sikoa, so now it's a 3-on-1 beatdown. And then Cody Rhodes comes out for the save. So now he's officially gotten involved in bloodline business. He saves Sami Zayn, and that's how we go off the air. I did enjoy that segment. I thought it was really good. Again, I thought for a few moments that they were gonna do the thing you said with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn versus Jimmy and Solo. I was like, they're actually gonna go through with this.
Yeah.
But then, as Jey started to fall behind Sami, because they were side to side at first, but as he
Yeah.
started to fall behind Sami Zayn, I was like, okay, here it comes.
Right.
And of course, Sami Zayn didn't see it coming.
Yeah, so it looks like Cody's going to be the Bret Hart. Um, like remember when the European title appeared and Owen and Bulldog, they wrestled for it, and then they had like a little mini feud because Bulldog won, but Owen couldn't believe it. He couldn't accept that loss. So they were kind of at each other's throats for a couple weeks, and then Bret got them all together in the ring. Is like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
So it looks like that's going to be Cody's role. And
he's the bridge.
And I don't think I like that at all. I don't like the idea of him being shoehorned into like an existing thing. Like I like it better.
Like I said, it's gonna be like these three. They're gonna form this super group thing to take down the bloodline.
Yeah, I'd much rather Cody have his own thing with Roman and then Sammy and Kevin Owens and the Usos, they can have their own thing. Sakoa Joe can be there too. Standing there with his arms folded.
Yeah, see, they need someone for him to also feud with.
I don't know. I will say that I think Cody has the nicest shoes in all of wrestling. Those little brown wingtip shoes he wears.
Yeah, he does have some good loafer game.
Yeah.
If that's what those are. Those
They're,
are loafers, right?
they're wingtips.
But they're loafers, or is that the name of them? Wingtips.
The style of shoe is wingtip. I think the loafer is a style of shoe as well.
Oh. Hey, I called out the Jordan ones, so that shows you where my knowledge was.
There you go.
How stereotypical. You're talking about the wingtips, I'm talking about the Jordans.
Yeah.
But I just happened to notice that because, you know,
No, I'll
anyway.
talk about mayonnaise. You can talk about hot sauce.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So we move on to SmackDown.
yes.
We'll be able to get to this one faster because
Yeah.
not much happened. So
Yep.
on SmackDown, yeah, go ahead.
We started off with a recap of last week, basically a little recap of the bloodline thus far. Sammy's still in limbo. We still don't know where Kevin Owens' head is at, and now we know that Cody Rhodes is he's interjected himself into things. More importantly, we know that Jey is in fact with the bloodline. Then we cut to Paul Heyman. He's standing in the snow. And he's holding up his little one like an idiot while this limo pulls up. And out come the Usos. Heyman hugs Jey, says Roman's proud of him, and hell, he's proud of him. Jey wants to know where Roman is. He says, you know what, if you tell him, or when you find him, tell him I'm here. Then a lady asks Jey why he turned on Sammy. Jey says he's going to say what he needs to say later tonight.
It's funny that you say a lady.
Yeah, why?
I mean, she is a lady, but it's funny that you just call her a lady. Her name is Kayla Braxton, for the people listening, and in the simp community, she is high on the tier list. So there you
Oh, okay.
go. She's high on the simp list, up there with Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. Yeah, that's pretty much. There's your tier list right there. Quick tier list. Liv Morgan, no, Alexa Bliss at the very top. Liv Morgan underneath that, and then in like the B tier, Caleb Braxton. So that's who was doing the interview. There you go.
You know, Carrie Same probably would have been like 1 or 2 for me.
Yeah, she's got that. And yeah. I don't want it to get creepy, but
Okay, yeah.
if I go into details, and
Yeah.
it turns into a creepy thing.
Gotcha. All right, so then we start off the action with Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, LA Knight, Woods, and Karrion Kross in a 5-way match to determine the number 1 contender for Gunther's Intercontinental belt. Scarlett is definitely the best part of Kross's entrance.
And she was on her A game again.
Yeah, we find out that Woods took over for an injured Kofi. There was a brawl last week, and I guess Kofi got injured during it. I don't remember that, but whatever. They're still saying that Sheamus represents the Brawling Brutes, but I don't remember them even being in the same room. Let alone, I don't know. It just seems weird that he's still affiliated with them.
Yeah, it's weird.
I really like the little interaction between McIntyre and Sheamus. They kind of built up they're angry with each other, but they're not at the point where they want to fight yet. So they didn't. They had them, bump into each other and have the stare downs, but they just start bitching at each other. They wouldn't really wrestle, so they're kind of building up to the fact of when they start actually getting physical with each other, which will probably be the WrestleMania match. Or they'll probably have like a match next week or something, and it'll be a draw, and Adam Pearce will be forced to do a 3-way.
Yeah, it's probably gonna. So there's two. Well, I'll tell you after we find out who wins.
Okay. I really liked how LA Knight formed an alliance with Karrion Kross, and then it was very old school. And of course, it didn't last very long. And I like how he went for a pin. Karrion Kross interrupted the pin. So he's like, all right, I got you. Oh, who do you want to beat up next? You want him? Oh, you want to do it? Okay, let me just stand here. And then he just decks him.
Yeah.
There was a part where Woods, he took out all 4 men by himself. He's the smallest. He's the worst. He's the least athletic. That took me out of the match completely. Gunther at one point came out to observe. There was a spot where LA Knight has Karrion Kross on the top rope, and he goes for a superplex, but then Drew McIntyre is also caught up in the Tree of Woe. Well, then McIntyre shows his tremendous core strength by German suplexing LA Knight, who then turned that into a superplex onto Karrion Kross. So my question is, how does that hurt LA Knight any more than if he would have just done the superplex?
It doesn't.
Okay.
Because he was gonna fall. He was going back anyway.
Right, and he didn't throw him any harder. He didn't throw him like across the ring or anything, so it just didn't make any sense to me.
And I will point out, people were raving over this little spot. I didn't like it at all.
No, it was stupid.
And I'll go ahead and give you a hot take. I don't like the whole Tower of Doom spot or whatever.
The trio.
When the person.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
When they do the whole thing where the person is on the top rope with another person, and then you got the other person, the third person, come and do the power bomb. But sometimes there's like a double suplex, and then the person comes underneath and does power bomb, and they're power bombing the 2 people who are doing the suplex. I hate that spot. Well, it doesn't even make sense.
It made sense with Cena because he was storyline a workout freak, and he was really strong and blah 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 blah. So he would do that as just to show like one more one more level of feats of strength that he's shown. But now they do it, and it's like Alexa Bliss will do a Tower of Doom.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really has done one. And Liv Morgan, come on.
Yeah, and just that doesn't make any sense. That's just to have the spot.
Yeah.
So then there was a point where they did the typical multi-man bullshit where they would do a move, and then after whoever got the move, they'd roll out the ring and disappear for a while so 2 other people can do their shit. And so I started to skip it. Sheamus hits Woods with a brogue kick. Woods was diving off the top rope. He eats a brogue kick. And then Sheamus and McIntyre, they stop and stare, and it looks like it looks like McIntyre is just content and letting Sheamus pin Woods. He's like, okay, you got him. But then he claymores LA Knight. So Sheamus and McIntyre, they kind of look at each other for a split second, then they both quickly pin their respective guys. So then, two referees count both pins, causing mass confusion. Now this is where I fucked up because I had to go back. I had to watch this match. Unfortunately, I had to watch this match multiple times because I did not see the second referee
Oh,
running
the
running around
outside
on the floor.
referee.
Yeah, I could not figure out where the fuck he came from. Because to me, because I didn't see him, it looked like just the second referee came out for no reason.
I mean, I didn't agree with this finish.
It was stupid. There was no
It
reason.
was stupid.
And what
Like the
multi-man... I've never seen a second referee out just to cover a pin for the other referee. That's not how it's done.
well, I've seen like them have multiple referees out like during Money in the Banks or something when there's a lot of people out just
Right.
to keep the chaos under control, aka check make sure no one gets hurt.
Right.
And because the one ref probably has hard enough time keeping up with everybody,
But they
flying all
don't
over the
jump in
place.
with the pinfalls and
But
shit.
that's the part that's stupid to me. Like the ref at the Sheamus hits the bro, McIntyre hits the Claymore, and then the ref just slides in the ring and starts counting. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
And he's the
Like, what
backup.
are you doing?
The backup, the starter ref made a
Wasn't
count.
even out.
Right. So she made the count, and then the backup ref comes in, and then the backup ref is like, no, 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 my word is over yours.
Yeah, yeah, he wasn't even the legal ref, if you wanted to say that.
Yeah, this is
And
just
like,
so dumb.
or if the ref got knocked out, he can, he comes in and makes the pin. But yeah, he just came in out of nowhere, interjected himself into the match, starts counting, and then he's trying to make a decision. Yeah, this is the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
I didn't like it at
this
all.
is the most contrived bullshit ever. This is just solely to get a triple threat match. That's all
Yeah.
this is.
Um,
They're not even
now
trying to be subtle about it.
I did like the fact that they did the double pin. What I would have done differently
Not
is I would have
me.
had,
I wish they
well,
would
what
have
I
done
would have,
something different, like fucking have LA Knight win, or who else was in it? Karrion Cross. Have one of them win. Everybody's expecting this triple threat match, so like subvert expectations.
well, I think I would have, yeah, I don't know where to go with him.
They
Um,
nothing. He's done. I told you.
well,
They
I mean,
fed
he's
it.
still getting one of the biggest pops of the night when he comes out. So, I wouldn't say he's buried.
No, he's buried. Just because the crowd likes him. Look at how the company's treating him.
I mean, he gets mic time every week. He gets an entrance every week. He hasn't fallen so far off where he's just in the ring when the when the match starts.
No, just
So
when
there's
he's
that.
no, they book him to that when he's coming out, his opponents don't even pay attention to him. They just focus on each other
See? So then why is he why is he even in consideration to win the match then?
because I like him.
Well, I like him more.
True, that's fine.
You ain't gonna out fan me.
I'm not trying to outfan you. I'm just
I
saying
want
that's
his seeds. What?
whoa. You can have it, man. I don't want it that bad.
But yeah.
It's all yours.
There you go. There's your intro somewhere for the week.
Yeah, I got a couple of them. Um, but yeah, that was a dumb finish. I wish they would have done anything, but what they did.
Oh
I,
yeah, that's
I
what I was
hate
gonna
the
say.
double pin because again, that's forcing it.
Well, what I would have done if it were me, and you want to go the double pin route, I would have done it where you get the double pin. Sheamus pins Woods after the bro kick. McIntyre pins LA Knight after his Claymore. But you have the one main ref who was supposed to be the ref of this match anyway. They'd make the count. They don't see Sheamus pinning Woods. So they make the count. They declare McIntyre the winner. Then you can have the ref who's already outside come in the ring and says, no, no, no. He got the pin too. Or he got the pin. So, then as the refs go back and forth, and now you say, okay, the refs have decided that this match is a draw because there was a simultaneous pin. They could have done it that way. I don't know.
Well, that's the same thing.
It's the same thing as having the ref that's not even a part, like the
Yeah,
backup
so
ref just slide in there and count to 3.
The only difference between what actually happened and what you just laid out is that the second referee didn't physically do the pin, but he still comes in, he still overrides the primary referee's word, like no, that who you counted doesn't count. It's these other people. Those are the people that really got pinned.
Not saying who you counted doesn't count, just saying you missed this call. This person they pinned at the same time. You missed it.
That's whoever she counts.
Saying. I know, but even in the NFL, one ref doesn't see it, and then they do the little discussion, and then the ref overturns their call. The umpire makes the call.
But in this case, the original referee would have been the umpire, so she would have made the call.
I know, but that's why you have more than one ref out there, so that they can. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You could have got dumb. There if you.
No,
but yeah, so
just do other shit. These are millionaires thinking of this shit, and this is what they came up with.
Well, I think out of the match, and then to even throw it further, what they make for next week. After they made it next week, they said they really probably should have just started with that and not even done this Fatal 5-Way.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and then at one point there's mass confusion and the crowd is screaming, triple threat, triple threat, triple threat. So if any crowd that we've witnessed so far is on the spectrum, it would be this goddamn crowd.
Well, they knew the dirt sheets, and they were just.
Who calls for a triple threat? Who wants a triple threat?
What weirdos? Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So the community, wouldn't say that, like, this hasn't been reported or anything. This is just an idea floating around in the community. They suggest that Gunther wrestles both nights of WrestleMania. One night he wrestles McIntyre, the other night he wrestles Sheamus. Now they've taken it even further and say he beats McIntyre night 1 and then loses to Sheamus night 2, so that then Sheamus can take the Intercontinental title and have his reign. I like the idea of him doing like a wrestle both nights. Even with like what he says to Adam Pearce later, it would it would do good to like do a both night thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna wrestle both nights, you can't 50-50 book him and have him win one night and lose the other. He's got to win both nights. Like, it doesn't make sense if he doesn't win both nights.
So they're probably doing a triple threat match so Sheamus can win, and also so Gunther can still not be pinned.
Yeah. And then he can move on to the main event scene.
Yeah. And he can chop that fucking tribal chief down. And sit on his throne.
I don't know if he's gonna do that.
Yeah.
He'll be chopping Cody.
He'll chop him too. He'll chop them all. He'll chop them both at the same time. Fuck it.
just like double chop.
Yeah.
like, like he'll stand in between him and just like cross his arms in an X and then just fling both his hands back
Yep,
to get them each at
like
the
a
same time.
like a Dragon Ball Z character.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, after that debacle of a segment,
We get Heyman and some lady backstage.
that would be Caleb Braxton again.
Okay. Raymond talks about Heyman talks about Rhodes. Says Roman told him the most gangster thing that they can do is smash Cody with the truth, and that the only thing left of Cody's story to tell is when he picks himself off the mat and picks a time and a place to acknowledge his tribal chief.
Yep.
Then we cut to Sheamus and McIntyre bitching backstage. That's really it.
Yeah. Um.
They did some Hall of Fame shit. I personally skipped it. I don't know if you watched it.
I gotcha.
Okay. While you're doing that, I gotta step away for a sec.
Um. Actually, well, I'll let you step away.
Yeah, I skipped like a couple segments, so go ahead.
So the Hall of Fame, the first induction into the Hall of Fame is Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is the first inductee into the 2023 Hall of Fame. He comes out to the ring. He's gonna, as you know, they do each year with the Hall of Fame. He's gonna come out and talk a little bit about his career. And before he gets a word out comes Dominic Mysterio. This was great. He came out to ruin Ray's big moment, so I'm glad and happy that they did that. He comes out, he talks about how Ray's a deadbeat dad, same old shtick that he does, and out comes Legado del Fantasma. They come out and do what they do, say that you should be respecting this man, Rey Mysterio. And then we get ourselves into a 6-man tag. They said this was supposed to happen later, but we're going to do this now. Legado del Fantasma versus Judgment Day. Um, that's Dominic, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest. As you would imagine, as these three, or as Judgment Day, are building towards something at WrestleMania, and Legado del Fantasma is not. Legado del Fantasma wins this. I'm sorry, they lose this match to Judgment Day off of a distraction. Post match, Dominic berades Rey Mysterio again, says you don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Dominic then drops the line of the night for him. He says that he should have been Eddie Guerrero's son.
Hasn't
And
he
of
already
course,
said that?
he hasn't said it. Other people have said it,
Oh,
but he has not said it yet.
okay.
Um, he then goes to attack Ray again, or he tells Ray to hit him, hit him. He pie face Ray. Ray Mysterio hits the ropes. And this is one of the key moments of this story progression. So he's charging at Ray to hit him again, and this time Ray Mysterio moves out the way and Dominic falls out the ring. So, and then he's on the outside yelling, "You can't do that to me!" So, although he didn't throw any punches, he's actually done something you know, to Dominic, and that being move out the way. He's
Okay.
finally stood up to his son by moving out the way,
Didn't he also
by not
say
letting him cheap shot him.
he said I'll never fight you though?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's lame.
So there's that. I I'm looking forward. Well, if I'm being honest, I'm not gonna watch the Hall of Fame ceremony, but I'm looking forward to watching the clip afterwards of Rey Mysterio at the Hall of Fame ceremony and Dominic interrupting it in whichever way he's going to.
Not
I'm looking
me,
forward
because
to
that
that.
means Rhea Ripley is going to be involved in some way, and ugh.
But yeah, I think it's going to be great because, the Hall of Fame is like this real moment. Usually it's not a character thing, but you're going to have a character thing. And it seems like this is the only reason they're inducting Ray right now into the Hall of Fame is because
Just so they can have
they're
an
going to do the
angle.
Dominic thing. Yeah. Not saying he's not a Hall of Famer. Obviously, he is a Hall of Famer. I'm just
What a
saying.
what a way to diminish the Hall of Fame.
I'm just saying, particular because it's weird that it's right now that they're announcing Ray.
Yeah. Well, I thought
Like,
it was because they're in California.
well, it could be that, but I swear, I saw that they had already announced someone, and I had forgotten who it was. But
Batista.
I swear, well, he's supposed to come later,
Oh,
but
it was Batista and Kane is who they were. I don't know if Kane's a nominee though, or an inductee. I know it's
I thought he
Batista.
was already in.
Oh, he might be then. I don't know. I don't
No,
pay.
I saw.
I'll be honest with you. I don't pay attention to the fucking Hall of Fame. It's a, it's a. They have non-wrestler. Drew Carey's in the Hall of Fame. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I watched was last year when The Undertaker got inducted. And I
Yeah.
didn't watch the whole thing, I just watched his part. God, I didn't watch the whole thing. But, uh, so yeah. But yeah, I saw something during the week where someone else had been announced, and it was a lady, and then they just switched up. Because then when they talked about the first inductee into the Hall of Fame, I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be whoever that lady was. Um,
Oh,
I
I
want to
don't
say
know.
Alondra Blaze or something like that, but
She's already in.
could be. But yeah, whoever they
Oh
said,
well, shit.
it
Now I
wasn't
gotta
that
look.
person.
God damn it.
Whoever they said, it did not end up being them. It ended up being Ray. So there you go. That was a surprise, and I think they're doing it for this angle. Um,
I'm sure it doesn't help. That's so stupid. The fucking the only reason he's getting the nomination is to further an angle.
well, obviously he is a Hall of Famer as well. I'm
Yeah.
just
I mean,
saying.
it is kind of weird that is he the first guy to still be active?
Um,
That's not Ric Flair. Ric Flair doesn't really count.
no, I think he is. I think everybody else has been retired, and then they would get inducted and then come back and start wrestling. But I think he's the first like active. He's a player in the Hall of Fame, which is another reason it was weird. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the NFL where you got to be retired 5 years before you can be a nominee. But that's NFL, which I don't watch either. But we're now unfortunately getting
Real
to the
quick,
age where we're
Trish
uh,
Stratus wanted to see Victoria in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's the lady that you were thinking of,
um
or that you heard.
no, I didn't hear it. They announced it. Or they didn't announce it, but they put it on social media
Okay.
that they were inducting this lady, and then yeah, it ended up being Rey Mysterio instead. Um, but yeah, not important. I know you need to find it, but it's it's irrelevant news because it wasn't her.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
Um,
let's keep X out of it. All right.
so after that, we have a match that I paid 0 seconds of attention to,
Was that
and
Braun
that
and
is,
Ricochet?
yes, Braun and Ricochet versus the Viking Raiders with Valhalla.
Well,
Didn't
they
pay
had
one
a
second of attention to this
well,
match.
they had a backstage segment um, that I skipped, so I don't even know why I brought it up. Um, Marie, Miz and Maurice did a Top Gun commercial. I figured you watched that.
Oh yeah, that was the worst one of all.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah, this one. First of all, I'm not a big Top Gun guy, so actually I've never watched any of them, so
There's only two.
I didn't get any of the references.
Okay, it's
I've
been
never
a
watched them, so I don't know how many there are.
it's been forever since I've seen the first one. Well, I've only seen the first one, but I don't remember it being that bad. You might like it.
It was just, not in a time where I was looking at those kind of movies. That
I don't.
being like action movies. I was more into comedies and
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good little alpha dog movie. Plus, there's shooting and explosions and shit.
yeah, I'm sure it's good, but
Yeah,
I just never seen it.
I generally like Tom Cruise's movies. He seems like he's batshit insane off screen, but uh, usually usually his movies are pretty good.
There was one movie series that he's done recently that I really liked. He's like a military guy, or not.
Was
He's
it
like
the
an ex-military guy,
Jack
but he's
Creature?
taken. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. That's good
I like
shit.
that series.
I like the first one where he was in the bar and he called that girl a whore, and then he beats up her brother and his
Yeah,
friend.
yeah. The whole thing was to get them outside.
Yeah, yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah, I like that series. So there was another movie, Tom Cruise movie, with Cameron Diaz that I oddly liked. He was like again, a spy, but she didn't know he was a spy, and like the whole time he's using her to to like get himself closer to whatever his mission was. And the whole time she doesn't know. And then like at the end he had to blow his cover and let her know that it was a comedy type, a rom-com,
Mm,
but it was a good
I
movie
don't
too.
know. Oh, yeah, that one missed my radar.
I don't know the name of it. It was just like a random movie. It just came on and I started watching it and I ended up liking it and never watched it again.
The, this one's kind of older, but The Last Samurai was pretty good.
I never seen that one.
He's a I don't know what war, an old a war again. I think Japan. I don't know. He's an American soldier. He's recruited to help fight the Japanese. Uh, like the government's trying to thwart these rebel soldiers, and they're a little bit more old fashioned. Like the rebels have swords and bow and arrows and shit, and the government has guns. But apparently that's not enough. So they need the Americans' help. So then Tom Cruise he comes and he's captured by one of the chief rebel camp, and then he's kind of assimilated and learns the ways of the Japanese, and it's actually pretty good.
Hmm. If it's on something, I might check it out.
Yeah.
Go back and watch some old Tom Cruise stuff. It didn't compare anything to what the Miz and Maurice did. I guess to give you kind of a rundown, the Miz is talking about, yeah, I guess it would help if I knew what the movie was about, but something about playing beach volleyball, and Maurice says something about him having big balls,
Oh God.
and she grabs them, put that in quotes, and then she says that they're playing volleyball, and he said, "Oh, we're playing volleyball with the boys. Um, is it shirts versus skins again?" And then he says, "I call shirts," and that's how the segment ends. Insinuating that Maurice is having going to be on the skin side,
Yeah.
which would be interesting to see if
Of course.
you put that on TV. Now I'm paying attention. But
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
All right. So after that, Adam Pearce is backstage. I don't know what happened before I stopped fast forwarding. So if I miss something, you'll fill in the blanks. Charlotte approaches him. She wants a match tonight, so she's confirmed that there's going to be a match that I'm skipping later. After that, we get
You look forward to skipping that, getting that skip button ready.
So after that, Braun and Ricochet versus the Viking Raiders, and so isn't Valhalla supposed to be like the Viking heaven?
Well, if you're going off of Mal Marvel lore, yeah.
Well, no, it would be Norse lore. Marvel
What?
didn't Marvel didn't create the Vikings.
Isn't that? I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna stop there before I look like an idiot.
Okay, so your understanding is that Valhalla is Viking heaven. We'll just go with that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and the Viking Raiders escort is Valhalla.
Yes.
Shouldn't she look a little like heaven instead of
Hell.
like she is? Like a foot?
Well, yeah.
Like
I
a
don't quite know what she is.
she looks like a insane clown posse reject. She looks like the one act they wouldn't sign.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Couldn't they get somebody that looks like Scarlet? I think Scarlet would be perfect as Valhalla.
She would be a good Valhalla,
Yeah.
but that would take so much away from Karen Cross act. As a matter of fact, he would then need to be fired from the company. So you can't do that.
Well, no,
You
because
can't do that. But she would make a good Valhalla.
you got Paul Heyman doing. He represents the Usos and Roman Reigns. She can do double duty.
Wait a minute. I don't know now. I'm thinking about it. Because her whole thing is about like the dominatrix black leather thing. If she was supposed to be the Valhalla Heavenly, now she's got to wear
Well,
white.
I'm just saying she
I don't
needs
know
to.
about all that.
I'm just saying she needs to look heavenly.
I know, but then she would need to be wearing white. I assume that would entail white clothing.
No, not
I mean,
necessarily.
maybe. And then you get fans throwing water. What? Throw water on her tits area.
And then you get a fan that just jumps the barricade and rips. You could just see them grinning ear to ear as they pounded him mercilessly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that, yeah, if you're gonna name yourself, after the Viking Heaven, you should at least look
Apart.
attractive instead of like that. And apparently, she's spooky. There's this little spot that she does where um, I don't know. One of the Viking Raiders are outside, and Ricochet is going into the ring to get to the top rope, but he runs into Valhalla, and she does like this little claw gesture, and it's like the spookiest thing that Ricochet has ever seen in his life. And it's just stupid. And they played it up too. They're like, "Oh, you just saw a ghost." They brought it up like 3 times after it happened. Like it was like this. It's supposed to be this big moment. It was just stupid. She just did this little nail thing, and then they would cut to her, and she looked just bored. She's awful. That's why I say, like, if you're just gonna have somebody just stand out there, have them look good.
Oh, and
Instead of
that's
looking
why I
like
paid 0 seconds of attention to this match.
instead of looking like she's wearing Bambi's skin for a fucking raincoat. But anyway, that's way more time than I expected to spend on this match. Braun Strowman went from Intercontinental Championship contention to jobbing to the Viking Raiders. He came back from Control Your Narrative for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Then sure enough, Charlotte had a match that I skipped. Was there anything important?
I gotcha.
Right.
So before that, before that segment, before the Charlotte Flair entrance, we had a backstage. Adam Pearce was backstage with Gunther. Gunther is actually, I enjoyed that segment. So he's backstage with Adam Pearce. He's like, "You're supposed to be finding me a challenger, not challengers." And he says, "English is not my native tongue, but I do know the difference between challenger and challengers. You see, one is plural and one is singular." And then he talks about how Adam Pearce is losing control of his staff, and we get Adam Pearce announcing that there will be a one-on-one match next week. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre will go one-on-one.
Oh,
The winner will get Gunther.
there you go.
Now
I didn't see that segment when I said earlier that they could do a one-on-one between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, but now they'll probably do like some fucking stupid shit where that'll end in a draw too, and there's no other choice now but to.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We'll assume that there's gonna be some kind of fuckery
Yeah.
in that match, and
Or
there'll be
Imperium
another
just
draw.
jumps them both for no reason.
Yeah, and then there'll be a draw, and
Yeah.
still, yeah, maybe Imperium jumps in. I don't know why, because
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For no reason, they will just come in.
Yeah, they want to see neither man win. So, and and also by jumping in, they want to see neither man win. So Gunther doesn't have to defend his title, and also they want to keep him off the WrestleMania card. So yeah, them jumping will make 0 sense,
Yes.
but it might happen.
And I expect it
And
to be just random, where Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, they're both looking at each other, and then it just goes to a wide shot, and Imperium are just sliding into the ring. You don't even see them come out. They're not even looking at the match.
yeah, or better yet, one hits their finisher, so it was going to be the end of the match, and then they jump in and
Yeah.
attack. And like, and then we might even lead that to a tag team match between Imperium and Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
Oh, I can't wait. Haven't seen
There you
that
go. We're
before.
booking the show for you. We're booking it for you, Triple H. But yeah, Gunther.
I think we can call him
I enjoyed
Paul.
him.
We're on a first name
I
basis now.
yeah, I enjoyed him in that segment. I just thought it was funny. It's like, it's not my native tongue, but I do know the difference between a plural and a singular,
Oh, you know.
and you're supposed to find me a singular.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that because that would have been probably one of the highlights for me. I did so much skipping.
Well, yes, and then after that, Charlotte Flair has her match with a mystery opponent, which ends up being Shotzi.
Oh, I'm so glad I
Um,
skipped that.
a little note. So, Charlotte Flair, she had nude leaks a couple years back.
Oh, did she? Ew.
Yeah. And she,
Oh, why?
and her nudes, like, she has no curves. She's just like flat as a board. And it's not good, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't, but it's something about when she has her clothes on, it makes me want to, like, travel down that road again. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I've never liked a girl more with her clothes on than off. But that's what I have with Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
Like, I look at her with her clothes on, especially like when she's like dressed up to the nines. Like, she looked really good. But then where does that lead? Well, it leads to her taking her clothes off, and I've seen that, and I don't like that. So very confused. Now you can see what goes through my mind when I see Charlotte. It's like, ah, man,
See,
so conflicted there.
I don't go down that road ever since I saw China's video.
Oh, well, yeah, there's nothing like that down there. Like, you know, she's
Where
it's a
it's where
nice shaped. There's shouldn't have it anyway.
she does, she doesn't have a second appendage.
shouldn't have a shouldn't have a thumb, yeah.
Yeah.
But she wasn't exactly like holding it open or anything, so I didn't get to see that much of it. She was standing in a mirror. real,
Why?
re- Honestly, what she was doing was she was looking at her body, like her physique, to see how good of shape she was in, and she was doing it naked, and then that somehow got out to the internet. So she wasn't like, you know,
It didn't somehow get out to the internet. She took a picture of herself posing naked, and she saved it
yeah,
to an electronic device.
yeah, and some cretin got it. But I'm saying
The
she
real
wasn't like
the real question is, why
spread
are you
eagle or
taking
anything.
pictures of yourself naked?
Progress. You don't take pictures naked?
No,
I do. Well, I got, yeah.
I do. I do the same. Do the fat ass mugshot pose
Oh,
where you do the staring straight ahead, and then you do the profile shot.
would you do it with your shirt on?
Sometimes depends.
Well, what's the
Dep-
point?
depends on where I'm. It depends on where I'm starting at.
Yeah, what's the point? Like,
Well,
the point is to take them shirtless so you can see your progress.
the
I'm
point
not
is
saying get
the
all the way
no.
nude
The
and have
point
your
is to get
thing
to the point
dangling.
where I'm okay taking a picture shirtless.
Well, I'm saying you don't just have your thing dangling from day one and showing people pictures. Hey, look, don't pay attention to my thing, but look up here. But yeah, I don't know where we got there. Oh, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know what below the waist you need progress wise. It ain't gonna get any deeper, and it ain't gonna get any longer.
Well, maybe she was just coming out of the shower.
And
And
she's
she
like,
wanted to take a
"Oh, what
picture
a
then.
great! This is my favorite time to take a picture of myself. Selfie."
Yeah,
I just
I
think
don't know.
that's just dumb.
But yeah, that's where I get confused. It's like you know, with clothes on, she's decent, but I know where it leads, and then I'm conflicted again because I don't want to see that again.
I've never wanted to see that.
um, so she has a match with Shotzi. She beats Shotzi figure eight. Um, yeah. Post match, during the match, Rhea Ripley she comes out and she's watching the match at ringside. Charlotte Flair, I'm sorry, post match she gets in the ring. They have a face to face with Charlotte Flair. She actually gets on the mic this time, and she says when she looks in Charlotte Flair's eyes, she sees doubt. Charlotte Flair knows she can't beat her. Charlotte Flair then comes back and says that there's not a man or woman on the roster that can outwork her. At WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley is going to see that. I'm trying to remember what she said. Not that it's that important, but um, she said that Rhea Ripley can dominate anyone except for her. That's what she's going to see at WrestleMania. And then Charlotte Flair leaves out of the ring. End of the segment. At least they have said words to each other. So that's one step over what Bianca and Asuka have done. And I get it. Asuka, you know, English is not her thing. But at least there's been more progression on this side than there is on the Raw side.
Didn't Ripley say not too long ago though that she didn't have to say anything to Charlotte because she saw fear in her eyes or some shit?
Too long ago. That was last week.
Okay, so but now they're face to face. I don't know.
Yeah,
And she said the same thing. Yeah, you got fear in your eyes.
pretty much.
She's unoriginal.
The way I saw it was, here's Rhea, and here's Charlotte. I'm sorry, here's the SmackDown feud, and here's the Raw feud. The SmackDown feud is Rhea Ripley waving at Charlotte, and then the and then the Raw feud is them pointing at the sign. So it's a wave. One build is waving, the other build's pointing. Like that's where we're at with these two feuds. But again, they've finally said some words, so
Yeah. Well, like you said,
there
it's
is that.
it's certainly miles ahead of the other one.
Yeah. Still don't think either one of them has been built enough to say, 100% without a doubt they're a main event of the night one, but
Oh yeah, one of them's supposed to be main event.
Charlotte and Rhea is supposed to main event. Um, well, they haven't said that, but that's
Well,
just the
well,
that's just what the people are thinking.
if you're having Gunther wrestle 2 nights, he needs to be the main event for both nights.
Sure. And we move on to our main event. We have main event segment, and that is the explanation of Jimmy Uso. He explains why he turned on Sammy, and honestly, what he says makes all the sense in the world. So he's him and Jimmy. They're in the ring. He says, or do you want to take it?
Um, he says all week I've been hearing why'd you betray Sami Zayn? Why'd you do this? And he said because I had to, because Jimmy's my family, you ain't. He says the crowd doesn't know what he's going through, all the turmoil and all the conflicting feelings he's had for the past few weeks. With he's let Roman down. He's alienated his brother. Sokoa Joe's just sitting there with his arms folded. And of course, he did love Sammy like a brother. But he blamed Sammy for all of that shit. And all he had to do was fall in the line, but he wouldn't know anything about that because he is not blood, and he never will be. Then Jimmy, did I miss anything?
Nope.
Okay. Jimmy flips it to Cody, who immediately comes out with pyro and a microphone. Okay, I'm firmly on the Cody train, right? But I will say that the entrances are getting a bit excessive with him.
I told you. I pointed it out weeks ago. He's always coming out with the. I said he came out WrestleMania or Royal Rumble,
Uh huh.
middle of the Royal Rumble, and
Well,
he's
that
got
was like his
pyro going
second
on.
entrance. I think you jumped the gun.
I'm just saying, it's a Royal Rumble and you got pyro going on.
Well, it was his return.
Yeah, but still.
It was his return. He was the only one that they were doing video packages for his return. So I mean, that made sense. His return after the Royal Rumble, that made sense. But now, like when he did the pyro just to hug John Cena, now he did pyro just to come out to talk to the Usos, and he came out again with a microphone and pyro. And he basically says people don't want to see him talk, they just want to see him fight. So why the fuck did you need pyro for that?
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
So Jimmy says, hey man, you take one more step, you won't make it to WrestleMania. So then Cody starts removing the clothing. He doesn't mind, or he doesn't want to get ruined. Then Sammy comes out, and a brawl ensues. Both Cody and Sammy clean house, and there's a separation thing, or not a separation. The security come out to separate the Usos and Cody and Sammy, and then we end it with Cody and Sammy standing tall in the ring. So there's probably going to be a tag team match with them at some point against the Usos.
I was thinking that, but then I'm also thinking if you do that, right? Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes versus the Usos, it highly looks like that's going to happen, and it's going to happen before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But if you do that, and then you turn around and just interchange Cody Rhodes with Kevin Owens, now it's and we're essentially getting a rematch
Mm-hmm.
for the Sami Zayn match. Now it's like I don't want to see the match again. I don't care if the player's different. It's just
Right.
like we're essentially getting the same match again for WrestleMania. But it does look like that might happen before WrestleMania. It heavily teases that direction.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. But Jey Uso, it made sense with what he said. Like, as I was watching the SmackDown, first they did the video package and they're showing him like being a twin and showing him with his brother as, little kids, babies, and how close they were as babies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like growing up through their life. They're showing this video package and they're growing up through their life being so close. I'm like, how is he even the bad guy in this scenario?
Right.
Like he's supposed to be the heel, but everything he did, the video package they played, what he said in the ring, it all makes sense. Like except for I guess you can say, well, it's not Sammy's fault. You should really be blaming Roman Reigns for all this because he's the one that was gonna clip your brother, as he said,
No, it's Sammy's
right?
fault because Sammy was gonna take Kevin Owens out with a chair like 1 or 2 weeks before he turned on Roman. So the fact that it just all of a sudden that one night now it was too far, that makes no sense. So yeah, it's absolutely Sammy's fault.
Yeah, and you can argue that Sammy could be looked at as the heel of this whole thing, because
Yeah.
he didn't, as Jay said, you didn't fall. All you had to do was fall in line,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't do it, and you put me and my brother in that situation
Right.
just because you didn't want to fall in line. But yeah, as Jay was saying that, it was like, I mean, it does make sense. Like he wasn't gonna turn on his brother. He wasn't just gonna leave his brother to get clipped. Like,
I want to
and
see what
then
that looks like.
even during the promo, he's like, think about, let's turn it on you, talking about the fans.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, if your if your family was in trouble, you ain't gonna help them out. If their electricity bill was about to go off, you ain't gonna cop the bill for them. It makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does.
Like, yeah, if your family, you got your sibling and their electricity's about to go out, of course you're gonna pick the bill up for them if you can.
Right.
If not, you're gonna find a way to help them with it. Yeah. It just made too much sense. So I don't even see how he can be booed throughout all that. Um, one other note I did wanted to point out on this whole thing is when Heyman was talking to Caleb Braxton the second time, because the first time he was talking about, or he was with the Usos, but the second time, it was the first time that I have actually heard. I'm believing it's the first time that I've actually heard them actually say for almost 1,000 days Roman Reigns has been champion. I actually heard them say that. So I do want to point out that they are now playing up that Roman Reigns is closing in on 1,000 days.
Who do you mean by they?
They meaning like Paul Heyman actually said it on TV.
Okay, because the commentary team's been saying it.
No, they haven't.
Yes,
They've
they
been
have.
saying they've been saying for 900 or 900 and something days, or for 800 and something days. They've been counting the time he's had it. This was the first time that they've said specifically for almost 1,000 days.
I'm pretty sure they said it like a
Check
couple.
the tape.
Okay.
And now I could be wrong, but it just stuck out to me that he
No,
finally
no,
said
I'll
almost
go
a
ahead and
thousand
just
days.
concede it. I'm not gonna go back and watch just for fucking. I'm wrong.
Watch the whole Bloodline storyline just so you can see. But yeah, it just stuck out to me that I finally heard 1,000 days. Um, that TikTok, by the way, is like 500,000 views. So
Oh, nice.
it's now we can say it is likely that they've seen that. Because 500,000 people have seen it. But if you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments below. If you agree with anything, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check out our other videos. Say that too. And until next time, Top Guys out.